Good morning and welcome to the final day of action here at the Speedo Aquatics GB Swimming Championships 2024. We've had an incredible week of action. And the final day is going to be just as exciting. If you missed last night, Saturday night, I tell you what, you missed a big one. I've picked a couple of highlights for you. Here we have the women's 100-meter butterfly Paris final. Olivia Newman-Baronius broke the world record in this. It was an amazing swim from her. She had 0.5 off it in the heats. I was wondering whether she was going to do it in the evening, and she most certainly did. We also saw nomination times for Kellyanne Warrington, Faye Rogers, and Poppy Maskell in that event. It was an amazing race for them. We love to see it. And a world record. What a great way to sort of round out her week. We then had Ben Proud doing very Ben Proud things. 21.2 he went in that men's 50-meter freestyle. It was so fast. Look at that, half a body length in front of the rest of the field in a 50-meter is just amazing stuff. Goes to show why he has been world champion. I think big things for him over the summer. Then, of course, we moved into the women's 200-meter individual medley Paris final. It was a tough race. I spoke to Maisie Summers-Newton before it. I know it's her main event, Paralympic champion in this. She was feeling very nervous, but of course, she got that nomination time. Nomination times as well for Brock Whiston and Poppy Maskell. They've both got a few in different events throughout the week. So their summer is looking very good. We then finished the night with the women's 200-meter individual medley. Abby Wood, what an incredible performance. She said to me she just wanted to get a PB. Her parents, her family was in the crowd. The last time she PB'd was in Tokyo and they weren't able to go and watch her do it. She wanted to do it in front of them, and I tell you what, 2:08, it was a big swim from her. She went out hard in that first half and managed to hold off Freya Colbert and Katie Shanahan to get that nomination time in that event. Freya Colbert as well hitting it, and Katie Shanahan closing out her week. She has had a spectacular one, 2 nomination times. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens with the selections, but it's certainly looking good for those ladies. So that was last night, but what have you got to look forward to today? In true style, we're going out with a bang. We're starting with the women's 400-meter freestyle. We then move into the men's 50-meter backstroke. Now, this is a para multi-class event only. We then have our men's 200-meter backstroke. That is a swimming event only. That is not in the Paralympics. We then have the women's 100-meter breaststroke, the women's 100-meter freestyle, not just looking to crown our British champions and qualify the individuals, but also the spots for that 4x100-meter freestyle relay. And then we have the men's 200-meter freestyle at the end of the night. It is a huge event. Some of the biggest names in the sport going to be closing out our event, and of course, looking for their place on that 4x200 relay as well. It is going to be a great way to close out a fantastic week of racing. But how do they get into the finals? Okay, so the format, how it's going to work is this. For the Paris final, the top 8 from the heats for Great Britain go into that. Now, only the athletes from this event can qualify into the Olympics. The B final are those ranked 9th to 16th from the heats, and the junior final is the next 8 fastest juniors. Of course, we may have juniors in the B and the Paris, depending on how fast they swim. The Paris para-final is the top 8 from the heats for Great Britain. Now, this one is ranked on points. It looks a little bit different. So if you've never seen a para event before, they are based on classifications. So these are the classifications. S1 to S10 are physical impairments, S1 being the more severe, S11 to S13 are visual impairments, and S14 are intellectual impairments. So this would be pattern recognition, sequencing, memory, etc. So at this event, all of our S classes compete together. They are multi-classification events. But it wouldn't be fair having, say, someone from S2 competing against someone from S10. So the points are based on the percentage of that class's world best time. Now, in a para event, we're looking for 2 different things in a final. The points for the medal to crown British champion, and of course, in each individual classification, the time to qualify themselves to the Paralympics. So that's how it's going to work. We've got the amazing Paul Noble and Andy Jameson taking you through more of the action this morning over in commentary. So it's over to them and to the women's 800-meter freestyle heats. Let's go.
Well, thank you, John, and it's great to be on the last morning. What swimming we've had so far at this meet. It's been utterly brilliant, hasn't it? There are 4 heats this morning of this women's 800 metres freestyle, and then there's 1 more this evening. And just, let me see, 6 swimmers in this first heat. Fastest seed, Eleanor Chadwick of Barnet Cocktail on 4. Great start from Eleanor in 4 there, from Barnett Coptal, with Ella Bloxage in 5. Swam the 1500 metres freestyle, went 18 minutes 03. But great for her, and this is a lovely moment for the Bloxage family. She presented the medals to her sister, Amelia, who won the 1500 metres freestyle. What a lovely move that was. Closest to us started well is Emily Johnson of Millfield in the green hat. Well, this morning, I've got to say, you know, sometimes you get lucky in life, and I'm utterly delighted to have a bit of a superstar sitting next to me. He is the boss. It is Drew Berrand. Welcome to the commentary box.
Hi Andy, how you doing?
Not too bad at all, Drew. Great to have you here. Thank you so much for coming down. Really appreciate that. I'm going to stick you in the hot seat and ask you some tough questions this morning, the questions that the nation wants to hear about on the swimming side. But first of all, I guess, you are the chief exec of Aquatics GB. There's a serious rebrand. Tell me about the drivers about that, because we've been saying British swimming for ages. It's not that anymore, is it? It's Aquatics GB. You've changed it. Why did you drive that rebrand?
Well, I think there's a number of different reasons, to be perfectly honest with you, but the biggest one probably is that we aren't just responsible for swimming. We're responsible for all the aquatic disciplines, and we wanted a kind of presence that brought everybody together and trying to unify the sport. We've got great variety in our sport across all of those different disciplines, and it was really important that we brought that together as an organisation, but also in terms of the outside world, for the fan base, for all the audience watching, for the participation base, for everybody to understand that there is so much opportunity in our sport and so many great things happening, and to bring it all under one roof was a really important kind of unifying message for the external audience, as well as obviously internally for our own stakeholder base.
That's fascinating. I tell you what, I was really interested. I attended your launch the other day down here, which was a great launch, by the way. It was fascinating. But you had athletes from other disciplines apart from swimming, which I'm saying that for a good reason, not because, you know, I didn't know. Of course I did, but I'm saying that because one of the divers, I think it was, sat there and he said, you know, people said, you know, British swimming, what do you swim? He said, well, I don't swim, I dive. And you sit there going, well, of course, that's why it's not British swimming.
Absolutely, and it's a bit of a no-brainer in all honesty. Obviously, we've been British swimming for a while, and that's really because swimming has been the kind of priority sport, if you like, or certainly the sport with the most amount of participation, the most amount of success that we've had. That's not true necessarily anymore. The other sports have brought themselves up to that level, particularly at the top end. I mean, our divers at the moment on a global scale are regularly knocking it out of the park. So, you know, we're really, really happy about that, and we need to make sure that they feel part of that organisation and that sport. And actually, there's a huge benefit in it for the swimmers as well, because the more profile we can bring to aquatic sport, the more everybody benefits. So it's not just, oh, we needed to bring the other disciplines in. It's actually, that's the way we move forward. So yeah, it's a really, really important piece that we needed to do, but obviously the next few years are how we then push that forward.
Well, it was fascinating as well. I also have to say I had to go up to the lady water polo player and shake her hand, because what the water polo team women have done recently has just been phenomenal, hasn't it? Yeah,
I mean, that was amazing, and in all honesty, and they won't mind me saying this, slightly unexpected. You know, they went to European Championships, first time that they qualified in nearly a decade for European Championships. Knocked it out of the park, won their group, got all the way through to the quarterfinals, which then got them through qualification into World Championships in Doha back in February. So that's been a great success. We've got great success on the artistic swimming front as well. Kate and Izzy, obviously a big medal chance for this summer, and the diving continues to excel. So aquatic sport is in a fantastic place, you know, and no better place than obviously the swimming racing we see this week. I mean, some of the standards, and obviously tonight is going to be a big night again.
Well, it certainly is. I'll just give you an update on the race here, because this is the 350-metre turn now, and leading, as she has right from the start, right from that very good start, is Emily Johnson, closest to us from Millfield. And she started very well. Lovely distance freestyle. Look at that lovely long ball, really stretching out at the front. And she pushes all the way past the suit line. Very good indeed. So she's in lane 7. This is going to be the halfway turn in the first of 4 heats this morning of the 800 metres freestyle, with the final heat in the evening session this evening. And first to turn at the halfway will be Emily Johnston. Second up there in lane 3 is Carabats of Chelsea Westminster, Martina Carabats, coached by Lisa Bates there. And Edie Price of Mount Kelly right at the top. She's swimming well. In fact, very, very tight indeed between Carabats and Price at that halfway. So, Drew, you've come at this chief exec of Aquatics GB from an interesting angle. You're sort of a sports marketing nut, aren't you? You're a bit of a a bit of a superstar from that. Were you at Laureus or somewhere like that?
Yeah, I've done a number of different roles over the last, God, probably longer than I care to remember, 25, 30 years I've been working in this industry, but mainly on the commercial side. So I used to operate all the commercial operations for the English Football League, done some stuff with Laureus from a kind of charity perspective, various different other brands and broadcasters. And I guess one of the reasons why someone like me gets appointed is that it's a testament to what a great position we're in from a performance perspective. So obviously, I know you had Chris on yesterday. From a performance perspective, we're really, really consistent now, and we've got great growth and great medal opportunities. So I think what was probably missing was the profile for the sport, in terms of how do we actually take all that success and all that inspiration and all that talent and really give it more eyeballs, give it more oxygen, give it more air. So it's really important, I guess, for the board of Aquatics GB, as we're now known, to bring on someone into this role who could actually increase the profile of the sport, so, as well as obviously maintaining the performance standards. So really that's the kind of brief that I've been given, is how do we take all of that success and get it out there, get this sport back to where it deserves to be, because we all know, and it's been fantastic this week to see that, is that we've got amazing athletes, we've got inspirational performances, and we've got a huge fan base, and we need to serve that fan base.
Well, talking about getting it out there, you've pulled off a bit of a coup straight away, because that the broadcast deal that you've done is quite amazing. Something I don't think we've ever seen before in swimming.
Yeah, absolutely. It was pretty historic, to be honest with you. So obviously the ability to be able to get 2 broadcasters in, and I know this sport has been underserved from a broadcasting perspective for probably longer than any of us would have liked. It was really important that we give people the opportunity to follow the sport. If we're going to grow it and we're going to move on to the next phase of it, then we absolutely have to do that. And so doing the deals with the BBC and Channel 4 really was what this sport deserves, but actually it's what the broadcasters wanted, it's what the fan base wanted, and it's what the athletes wanted. So, being able to bring that together is hugely pleasing, and, the numbers that we're seeing in terms of the volume of people who are watching this week, consistently watching as well, has been really, really encouraging. And there's a lot of really good stuff that's happened this week, which gives us a great platform to grow.
Well, that is fun. We'll come to the social side in a second, maybe in the second heat, if you would stay with us. That'd be great if you would. But talking about numbers of viewers, it's not only on the television, though, is it?
No, absolutely, and that was the beauty of the deal that we did, in that obviously from a BBC perspective we're pushing it out through iPlayer and their digital streaming service, but from a Channel 4 perspective we're actually doing it through YouTube, and opening up that social audience that exists. I mean, you and I are probably slightly older on the time, but we can understand. Yeah, exactly. I can say that.
You can. You might not come back very quickly. You can say what
exactly.
you like. You're the boss. You can say whatever you like, sir.
It's all good, but there is that younger audience out there that are watching through different channels, say, than you and I are possibly used to. So, it's really important that we engage that audience as well, and that's what's enabled us to do that, is the breadth of platforms that we've been distributing the content through.
Indeed. Well, let me just come back to the racing, because Emily Johnston is swimming really well here. This is the first heat of 4 this morning, with another one this afternoon in the 800 metres freestyle. And Emily Johnston's led from the start. It's 16 lengths of the pool. She's done 15 at this turn now. And let's see this last turn. Well, it's very good, isn't it? A good couple of fly kicks underwater, breathing to her left and then to her right, nice and balanced as well. The race for second and third is also been very good indeed. It looks like it's now up in lane 2. Edie Price of Mount Kelly just at the top of that shot there. She's just swum away from Karabatz of Chelsea and Westminster. But a really good swim from Emily Johnson, the Millfield School student. She's still a junior. Her lifetime best 9:15. She's going to go way under that. Look at that. Oh, she's done it as well, under 9:10. Well done, look at that. 6/100ths of a second under 9:10. 9:09.94. Lifetime best was 9:15.2. So she's just done over 5 seconds lifetime best. What a great swim. And from the start, and we've seen this so much this week, the gutsy approach to life. And if you have a go, if you've got a lane, you have a go, have a crack and see what happens. And it's happened really well for Emily Johnson, hasn't it? Johnson wins it from Price in second. Third is Karabatz of Chelsea and Westminster. Fourth, Pearl Griffiths of University of Surrey. Fifth is Ella Bloxich of Salford. And sixth, Eleanor Chadwick of Barnet Copthall. And that time, a massive lifetime best. Let's see the confirmation result. There we go. 9:09.9 wins it. Great to see her go under 10. Well, I don't like to tell you, Emily, but the next target's got to be under 9 minutes. That's exciting, isn't it? Brilliant swim. Well done. The first of 4 heats this morning with a 5th heat this evening. And look how many lead swimmers there are. I've got to tell you, possibly team of the meet so far, City of Leeds. 4 more swimmers in this. This is heat 2 of 4 of the women's 800 metres freestyle. And fascinatingly, Evangeline Stacey in the centre. She split 9:20 at the 800 metres. When she went through the 1500 metres freestyle, she split 9:20, so she's not going to go too much faster than that to do a lifetime best, which is 9:10. We've just seen a 9:09 from the first heat, so that's going to be interesting. Anyway, I've got the boss here. I can't let him off the hook. Everybody wants to know the answers to the big questions. So, you've come in. How long, Drew, have you been in the seat now? What is it? It's still less than a year, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still less than a year. So I started in the first week of May. So it's just come on 11 months. So yeah, ticking around to that year mark.
And so you've come in, you have a look around. I mean, obviously, when you said you've done a few roles in your life, so you've obviously changed jobs a few times. The first couple of months is always interesting. They say the 100-day sort of 100-day look, and then see what you think. What have you found? I mean, British swimming is in pretty good shape at the moment. It would be interesting to hear. Have you got any wows? You came in and you go, my goodness, I was going to say something else then. My goodness me, that is quite incredible.
I think what's really struck me is just how good we are. And you never really know it until you sort of look under the bonnet. And even just in the last race, lifetime best, we're churning out lifetime bests and personal bests almost like on a weekly basis, pretty much all the way through the pathway, right from, some of the younger kids all the way through to the top end. And that kind of relentless pursuit of pushing the barriers and trying to move forward, that's so impressive. And when I've gone into the coaching environments and looked at what they're doing, we're pretty much best in class, and that's an amazing platform to be able to grow from. So that's been a proper wow moment for me, to be able to get up close and see just how good we actually are. The other bit is really the kind of reaction, I guess, from everybody around the sport. This is filled with people who want to make it work. I've worked in other sports where you could possibly say that wasn't the case, where there's a few politics at play, where there's a few egos at play. I don't get that feeling from this sport. I get the feeling from this sport that everybody wants it to succeed, and they're all just want to be brought together and want to help push it forward. And I can't tell you how hugely supportive and important that is. Collaboration is the only way that we will actually grow this sport. And to be honest with you, we've got it in spades in terms of intent. Now we've just got to use it.
Indeed we do. Let me just give you the swimmers in this. I apologise, I didn't do that on the first 100 metres. She's just turned on the 200 metres. The leader at the moment is Eleanor Kay of Bolton Metro, and also going well up there in 5 is Jessica Smelt, the 16-year-old from Repton, and Harriet Oxley as well. So the leader is Eleanor Kay of Bolton in that black hat. 1 lane up from her, maybe just about in 2nd, 3rd, 4th. God goodness me, it's very tight, isn't it? Harriet Oxley's going well. Also in 5 it is Jessica Smelt, and up in 1, Louise Ashford from University of Bath. There is a lane 0, so she's 1 in from there. Closest to us, of course, is Maisie Dixon of Wickham, but much more even down this first, coming up to the 300 metres turn in this, the 2nd heat of 4 this morning of the women's 800 metres freestyle. Maybe just taking over the lead at the top. Oh, it's tight, isn't it? Very tight indeed. No, still down in 8 is Eleanor Kay of Bolton. So, Drew, boss of Aquatics GB, the new brand, it's gone well. It's everywhere here, isn't it? And you've got a new logo, you've got a new brand, you've got a new strategy, and you've told us a little bit of a wow factor was just how good everybody is. Here's maybe a difficult question, and you may or may not want to answer. Is there anything you think, we've got to fix that, we've got to look at that, we've got to fix that, because that's not quite as good as the rest of it? I suppose it's all relative, but is there something you'd like to fix?
I think the fix is really that we've got to connect ourselves to the audience a bit better. We deliberately came into this event with a starting point of, right, we've got a new brand, we've got TV, we've got a sellout crowd, which I think is the first time we've had that for a number of years. We're actually trying to build this audience, but what we've got to do next is connect to them. For too long, we've been talking about this as a participation sport only, as opposed to a spectator sport. It can be both things. if you look at really successful across other sports, and you wouldn't want to necessarily compare yourselves because it's not apples and apples, but fundamentally what we've got to do is build that audience and build that enjoyment of the sport from a watching perspective and engagement perspective as much as from a participation perspective. And look at this race now. I mean, the competition is fantastic at every single level, but that audience is there. We've just got to give it the opportunity to engage with the sport. So that's the bit that is more of a long-term project. We started off this week. We're doing a lot of stuff trying to engage the audience, obviously through the broadcasting that we're doing, through what you guys are doing, and obviously through in terms of interacting with the crowd. And it's starting to come off. We're starting to get that enjoyment and that entertainment value there. The swimmers are doing their job. We need to do our job.
Well, you're right in saying that it's sold out. It's absolutely fabulous to see that. I don't think I've been at a swim meet in Great Britain when it's actually been sold out. I've done this job for this is my 36th year in the commentary box, Drew, and I don't think that's happened. And people clamouring for tickets. I had Andy Asprey, old Commonwealth champion, 400 freestyle, 200 freestyle. He was asking for tickets, which he very kindly sorted him out on the other day. But people like that, they want to come back and want to have a look, which is great. But it's not only the top end. Is this the right word you say? The regular punter that's also interested, that you're starting to focus on, and also that social side is quite a different focus too, Drew.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we have a role, particularly obviously because we've got so many high-profile athletes and amazing performers here. We've got an opportunity to use that to inspire the next generation, and particularly to take that inspiration into places it wouldn't normally reach. So we've been running a social impact program across this week where we've had, by the end of today, we'll have around about 850, 900 kids from the local communities, from disadvantaged communities, hard to reach people who maybe have never even set foot inside a swimming pool before. And they're all experiencing this sport for the first time and being inspired by the athletes, the coaches who have kindly lent their time. And we've been doing sessions in between heats and finals over in the various different training pools we've got in this amazing venue to really actually try and bring them in. And then there is a pathway through that once they've experienced it and got them excited, that then we keep going and keep going and keep going. So we're using our kind of inspiration value at the top to inspire the bottom, and it's a really, really important message for us. It's not just about the elite. We need to bring more people into our sport at every point, and hopefully in a few years' time we'll see some of those kids that experienced it for the first time lining up in the 800 metres.
Well, I've certainly seen some very excited kids to be here, and I tell you who is one of the superstars that everybody wants a picture of is Ellie Simmons. She's a proper superstar. She's commentating on the public address system here, but my goodness me, you walk through Westfield shopping centre, you can't move. She's selfies all the time. Not just her own selfies, but selfies with other people.
she's a popular lady, no doubt.
She is. Well, that was the 600-metre turn, Drew. We're getting towards the sharp end of this second heat of the women's 800 metres freestyle this morning. And Maisie Dickinson of Wickham has been leading for most of it, but it looks like Harriet Oxley in 7 in that black hat. She's taken over the lead, and she does look good. So Oxley leading now from Dickinson, but a great scrap there for second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth right in the centre. In 4 it's Evangeline Stacey, Smelt's in there, Ashford's in there. It's quite a scrap. Well, we don't have too much time left. I know you're a very busy man, Drew, so thank you so much for joining. I just wonder, maybe just quickly, do you have a key focus just for right now? I mean, obviously Olympics is coming up, but is there a key focus you've got for right now as the chief exec, the boss of the sport? And maybe, if we do have time, just something you're thinking about for the next 3 to 5 years or so?
Yeah, absolutely. So the big thing at the moment is probably the way that we get money into the sport. So at the moment, we're very lucky in that we get a lot of national lottery funding, and a big thank you to everybody that buys a national lottery ticket out there, because you're directly helping us to deliver amazing athletes and amazing performances. But we need to diversify that revenue. We need to bring in more money, more investment to enable us to grow. So I think that's probably the focus at the moment, is to use all of this audience that we've got and bring it in and bring more people into our sport from a kind of investment perspective. It's really, really important that we do that to enable us to move forward.
Excellent. So is that the now, or is that the 3 to 5 years?
That's the now. That's the real now. The reality of the situation is that we've got to deliver this kind of experience on a regular basis. We've had sellout crowds, we've got great broadcasting. That has to happen regularly.
Well, it certainly does, and it started super well. I'll thank you in a second if you just let me just call the finish of this race, because it's been very good for Harriet Oxley of Repton. She's done really well. She's paced it perfectly. Her lifetime best is 9:12. She's going to be just inside that, I think, which is great. Come on, then. 9:10, 9:11, 9:11.36. So another lifetime best, a full second inside Harriet Oxley's lifetime best for Repton. She wins the second heat of the women's 800 metres freestyle. Second was Maisie Dickinson of Wickham District, 9:13.3. Lifetime best for her as well. It's just everywhere, isn't it? Every single heat that we have, it's lifetime best. And it's great to see the juniors doing this. You've got to come to a meet like this, the Olympic trials. If you perform in the heats, you've got a cracking chance of going through to the finals in the evening on the 50s, the 100s, the 200s, the 400s. This is a heat declared winner, of course. So Harriet Oxley confirmed as the winner of Heat 2 of the women's 800 metres freestyle. Maisie Dickinson second, Evangeline Stacey third of City of Leeds. Well, delighted to have you join us. Thank you so much for your time, Drew. It's great to see you here at the meet all the time, all the way through. What a rebrand you've delivered. And CEO of Aquatics GB, it looks like to me it's in great health. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Andy, and thanks for all your support this week. It's been fantastic.
Brilliant. Cheers, Drew. Thank you. Wow, I feel quite special. Sit next to the boss, having a chat. So, heat 3 of 4 heats of the women's 800 metres freestyle. Elizabeth Warner, a 13-year-old from Leeds, is the fastest seed.
Take your
In lane
marks.
number 4. So there are 4 heats of this women's 800 metres freestyle, and the fastest seed is Warner on this heat 3 of 4. So just 2 more heats this morning, and then we go into the fastest heat this evening. And let's see the first 50, 75 metres or so here, just going down the first 25, just try and relax a little bit into the event. And let's see who's leading down this first 50. So right at the top there, it looks like in lane 1 is Alice Forrest of Northumberland and Durham is leading from Roscoe. Abby Roscoe in second from Wirral, both 14 years of age. Both young superstars, I'm sure, of the future. And talking of young superstars of the future, maybe young superstars of today, I've got to tell you, it's just the greatest job in the world. I've just had Drew Barron, the CEO of Aquatics GB, in the commentary box. Now I get Katie Shanahan. Hello, Katie Shanahan. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah.
Just turn you on. There we go. There we go. Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, you've had just a fantastic couple of years, haven't you? At Commonwealth Games and European Championships and winning medals here, there and everywhere. Just give us a quick synopsis of maybe your favourite one that you've got so far. Which was the one you thought, you know what, that was good?
Definitely the Commonwealth Games. My first bronze medal I got in the 400 IM. Yeah, I'd definitely say that was obviously doing it in front of a home crowd. I had some of my family friends in the crowd, and yeah, it was just amazing doing that. And yeah, I honestly did not expect to get a medal in that at all, and to get that, I was just absolutely delighted. So I'd say that.
I've got to say, it's so exciting sitting in the commentary box and seeing people like you come through, because you just go, I wonder how the youngsters are going to take this. It's, pressure and all that. Do you feel the pressure much when you're going into a meet like that? Because, your parents are there, the telly's there, you're going to be on the telly fairly shortly. It's all quite exciting. But
yeah.
Do you actually feel the pressure when you're going into the actual race? Because some of the poor little juniors, they're just going, oh my goodness me, and they just lose the race before they even start. How do you deal with the pressure?
Yeah, I mean, I do like the pressure. I don't usually feel like I have pressure from other people necessarily. However, I do feel like sometimes I do put pressure on myself, just with like some of the performances that I've done and that I want to do and the results that I want. I feel like I do put pressure on myself to do well, but at the end of the day, I don't stress myself out too much about it. I think that's something that some of these junior swimmers can kind of learn from. Like, if you're not going to have fun with it at the end of the day, and you're not going to enjoy it, and I think that's the most important thing to remember.
That certainly is. That's a great message. Just repeat that. Have fun and enjoy it. Otherwise, you're not going to do very well. It's. I suppose it's one of those things that's quite easy to say, but when you're standing behind the blocks and you've been training all that time, and it's just you and your little pair of Speedos. There's nowhere to hide, really, is there?
Yeah, it's not.
There? So, do you have I was asking Freya Anderson this question actually the other day, and then also Ross Davenport. Do you have any little tricks or anything like that when you're standing behind the blocks and you go, I'm a bit too nervous? Just something. How do you bring yourself down if you're sort of on those clouds running around the ceiling?
Yeah, honestly, the main thing I do is just breathe. Like if I'm making sure that like my breathing's steady and I'm remaining calm, then it's all good. I think if I stress myself out too much behind the blocks and I'm thinking about other things, I'm thinking about the race, I'm thinking about everything, the crowd, the atmosphere, everything, I just stress myself out. So I think just breathing is just always take a nice deep breath behind the block and I'll be good to go.
I was going to say, thank you for clarifying that, because, in the nicest possible way, and this sounds ridiculous, so please excuse me, we all breathe, right?
Yeah.
So when you say just breathe, you're going, yeah, okay, well, I get that. I do that, but I'm still pretty stressed. But you said it's a one big breath or a couple of, and then you're thinking about just, what are you thinking when you're taking your breath? I mean, how do you get off the ceiling? How do you get down to...
Yeah, I think just a few big deep breaths really do the world of good for me. I think, we've had quite a few talks from the likes of Tom Bates with us last year, and he was saying about how, breathing can, really help how your body reacts and stuff to, before your race. If you're breathing well, then you can almost relax your body. And I think doing, obviously, deep breaths, it does relax your whole body, and I think it just, for me anyway, it takes my mind off some stuff, just thinking about doing something else rather than what I'm about to do, which is race.
Yeah, no, well, you've got to... I'll talk in a little bit about that Sterling squad that you're part of, because it is stunning. I'll just give an update on the race here, though, because they've just gone through the halfway turn in this heat 3 of 4 heats this morning of the women's 800 metres freestyle, and hopefully Katie Shanahan will stay for this heat and the next one, so we can have a good old chat with Katie. But right at the top there, great battle for first and second between the two 14-year-olds. Alice Forrest of Northumberland and Durham in 1. In 2, it's Abby Roscoe of Wirral Metro. And I think Freya Anderson started at Wirral Metro, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she was talking very fondly about that. But 2 14-year-olds, look at this. In actual fact, Abby Roscoe is just starting to take over the lead here, 500-metre turn. So 6 lengths to go, and this the third heat of 4 this morning of the women's 800 metres freestyle, with that fastest heat this evening in the final session. And it's Abby Roscoe leading from Alice Forrest in second. Third at the moment is Jessica Arundel with fourth. That's Sarah Bernholt of Barnet in lane number 5. So you've had an interesting week, haven't you, Katie? I don't quite know how to describe it. I mean, if we're really honest, you're on the team, but we can't say that because I think the selection policy says if you win underneath the nomination time, you go. That's clear. You've got your ticket to Paris. If you're second underneath the nomination time, I think you're nominated by the selectors to the British Olympic Association to be considered for the team. But there's not that many people qualified. So for all intents and purposes, I'm going to tell you, you don't need to answer this, I'm going to tell you you're on the team.
Woo,
the selectors won't thank me for that at all, and they'll go, no, she's not, but that's okay. But you've had an interesting week because you swam really well, but you're up against some absolute cracking swimmers. How do you deal with that in terms of the week? Because it's unfolded, I would say, really well for you, because you've made the Olympic team, I think. I mean, it's not confirmed yet, but pretty darn sure of that. But how do you go? I mean, you've Abby Wood on the 200 medley, and the 200 backstroke, you've got some fantastic swimmers against. How do you deal with that process in an Olympic trial? Because you're still pretty young, right? How am I allowed to ask?
Yeah, I'm 19.
19, excuse me, that's not very PC, is it?
No, that's okay.
But at your age, I mean, it's a fascinating thing to have to deal with at Olympic trials. Lots of people would lose it. You haven't lost it at all. You've done really well, but you didn't win. But you're on the team, you're going to Paris, job done. Steve Teague's your coach, he'll go tick that box, get on with it. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, overall, I am quite happy with this meet. I think coming into it, I would have liked to have done a little bit better than I have. I think the training that I've been doing, probably I should have been going a little bit faster, but it's at the end of the day, it's my first Olympic trials. I didn't really know what to expect. I was coming in here thinking it's just like a normal trials meet, and to be honest, it's not. It's completely different, I feel. I just feel like, the emotional week that it's been quite hard. I remember speaking to Duncan Scott at the start of the week after the first evening session when we watched at the hotel, and he said that he forgot how emotional this week actually was. After we watched Emily coming third, and I'm sure a lot of people felt for her as well coming third there, and he did remind me how emotional it was, but at the time I was like, oh, I'm sure it is. Like, people say it's emotional, but is it actually? But then once I actually have experienced it, I do realise that it's a lot. as my first Olympic trials, really, I was here in 2021, but it wasn't really a proper Olympic trials, and but yeah, just yeah.
Well, it is pretty emotional. I was actually talking to one of the coaches, and they were saying that you can get emotionally singed by the end of the week, which I thought was quite a good expression. Let me just call at the end of this race here, Katie, because there's been a really good swim from Abby Roscoe here from Wirral Metro, Freya Anderson's old club. She's going to win the the third heat of the women's 800 metres freestyle. There she goes, 9:04.5. Well, that's really good from her. She wins it. Second was Alice Forrest, was second from Northumberland and Durham. Third is Jessica Arundale. And fourth, Zala Bernholt of Barnet Coptor. But, well, there was a really good scrap, wasn't there? There is lane 0 up the top, of course, but then in lanes 1 and 2, Alice Forrest and Abby Roscoe did so well, just battling all the way through. You know what I don't quite get? I'm going to ask you, maybe you know the answer to this in a minute. The Northumberland and Durham performance team have Derwentshire on the hat. So every time you see, oh yeah, they're from Derwentshire, you look on the programme, it's not Derwentshire at all. It really foxes me every single time. Do you know why?
I've got no idea.
Okay.
I could not tell you.
I thought I'd ask. Anyway, here we go. So confirmation of the result of Heat 3 of the women's 800 metres freestyle. Abby Roscoe from Wirral wins it, a 9:04. And a good swim from her. Second was Alice Forrest of Northumberland and Durham, not Derwentshire, or maybe is Derwentshire. I'll find that out. Somebody will text me, tweet me. Andy Jameson swim. Tell me what the answer is. Here we go. It's Heat 4, the women's 800 metres freestyle. The final heat that we'll see this morning. There is the final heat, the fastest 10 swimmers ranked in Great Britain at the moment. They go this evening. Kate Cotter from Chelmsford, the fastest seed in 4.
Take your marks.
Well, there's some proper youngsters in this and some crackers as well. Lucy Parsons in 2 is 16. In 3, it's Phoebe Arbuckle, she's 15. Kate Cotter, 16. Ava Cook, 15 in 5. Gracious me, there's some youngsters in here. Well, the European Junior consideration time, it is pretty fast. It's 8:47. This is the last morning heat, 8:47. We've had an awful lot of swimmers swim the consideration times so far. European Juniors is going to be held in Vilnius in Lithuania later in this summer. And they can choose a team of 30. They've set the consideration times as times which will get the swimmers into an evening swim. So 50s, 100s, 200s. It's a semi-final, and then 400s and 800s, of course, they only go through to a final. So they've set the qualification time to make sure that everybody chosen for the team is expected to go through to a final. And of the final session, they can choose 30. They've had 49 swimmers qualify already, and they've done 80 times between them. It's amazing. Did you go to Junior Europeans?
Yes, I did. I went to 2. I went to Kazan in 2019 and then Rome in 2021.
And?
Yeah, honestly, I had such a good time. I think that was probably some of the highlights of my junior career. I think it was such a fun time with the team. I remember in Rome, obviously, it was an outside pool, and I think being there for the first time that was my last European Juniors, and I done quite well, if I do say so. And I think just finishing off my European Juniors there was, well, my junior career anyway, there was really fun.
You're very humble, Casey. I'm looking at you going, I did quite well, if you don't mind me saying so. Go on, then tell the world how you did.
I got 6 medals. I've got 3 gold and 3 silver, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
You're not bad. Gracious heavens, 3 gold and 3 silver. You know what's really interesting I find about swimming? Now I'm a little bit older, excuse me saying that, I'm a little bit older. You look back and you go, swimmers are brilliant at what they do. They're so humble. And you go, 3 gold medals at Junior Europeans and 3 silver. We need to celebrate that a little bit more, don't you think? I mean, we need to just without being a bit big-headed, which of course you'd never do because you're just such a lovely lady. But how? Anyway, there you go. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I'm trying to say something. Anyway, look, you've had a good week. I'm going to tell you that you're on the team. Selectors will say not yet. They've got the meeting, but I can't believe they're not going to take you. So let's just assume you are, just for a bit of fun. So you finished swimming last night on that 200 medley. It went pretty well?
Yeah, okay. I think I was expecting to be a bit fatigued after doing, 2 400 IMs, 2 200 backs, and a 200 IM before it. I wasn't expecting to be, fully fresh, and I think I spoke to Steve about that as well. But, I put in my best performance, and hats off to the girls. They've done so well, and for Freya, who hardly does that event, she's done really well as well in that. So.
Okay, so you've done that. You did a really good 200 backstroke earlier on in the week. 400 medley was right on it as well. So those two, I think, may be the ones that I think you're going to be selected for. I need to be careful on this. So you finished swimming yesterday. Delighted you've joined us in the commentary box for a bit of fun, a bit of a chat. But so after last night, how does training start again? I mean, I presume you had a big night last night. On the donuts.
Big night in bed, yep.
So, I mean, so how does it start? So this morning's a new day, first day of the rest of your life. So how does it start this morning then? Yeah,
so this morning, today's almost the first day of the, hopefully, Olympic cycle. I had this training session this morning. I done 6K.
Whoa, hold on. You did 6K this morning?
Yes, I did. Yeah,
what
no
did you
rest
do?
of the wicked.
How do you do? So what do you do when you come in? Just a little float of 6K?
Yeah, just a little float. Yeah, it only took me 2 hours. It's just really to flush out the whole week. Get that recovery system going and start the regenerative process for obviously next week, where we are back in the pool, and I think we're swimming till Thursday morning, and then we'll have the rest of the week off. I think it is important. Steve has spoke to us about it. If I were to stop swimming last night, I would have had over a week off without being in the pool, which is quite a long time in the Olympic cycle. Coming up to the Olympic Games in the summer, and having a week out in the middle is just not really ideal. So it is important to keep the feel for the water, even if it is just easy meters. It's still, training and doing something.
Wow, 6,000. You said I did 6,000 easy. You've got Paul Noble sitting next to you commentating on the para races. He nearly fell off his chair as I did. Goodness me, nice easy 6,000. Gracious me, how the world changes, eh? Anyway, I'll just give you a quick update in lane number 3. It's Phoebe Arbuckle. She actually set a lifetime best on her 800 metres split going through to the 1,500 metres earlier this week. She went 9:01. Going through the 1,500s at the 800 metres freestyle. Her best was 9:02, so I guess now her official PB is 9:01, but she's swimming really well here. She's got the red hat on in lane number 3. And this is the 500 metres turn in this final heat this morning of the 800 freestyle, with that final heat, the fastest heat coming this evening. So first over is Arbuckle of Warrender Bath Club, second right at the top there in lane 0. 10 lanes used in these heats. Is Amelia John of City of Cardiff, and then third maybe just about is Kate Cotter in lane number 4. You can just see her on the left hand side of that shot in the blue hat from Chelmsford City, but there's quite a few in the mix now. They're starting to come back a little bit at Phoebe Arbuckle. She's going well, but they're just starting to gather in the centre of the pool, aren't they? In 4 it's Kate Cotter, in 5 it's Ava Cook. Down here in 7, it's Ruby Griffiths of Mount Kelly. She's going well as well. But no doubts about the leader coming into this 600 metres turn. 200 left, 4 lengths left at this next turn. It is Arbuckle in lane 3 of Warrender. So you did your 6K this morning, as you do. And then what happens? When is the selection meeting? Do you know when they're actually going to pick the team?
I think it's around next week at some point. So hopefully, Monday, I'm hearing.
Yes. Yeah,
which
Monday.
is exciting, yeah.
Okay. And do you know how they tell you?
It should be an email we'll get. It's usually an email we'll get for like Worlds and Europeans. We'll get like a DocuSign form. So then we'll sign the form and say, yes, we would like to come on the team type
really?
thing.
So it's just an email?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it'll be a bit different for Olympic Games, hopefully.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And do you know who sends it to you? The Queen? No, the Queen's dead, excuse me. Oh, gracious heavens. Well, there is a Queen. Of course there is. Oh, my goodness me. The King. The King. God save our gracious King. There we go.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe it's the Olympic Association, or it might also be just British Swimming. I'm not too sure who it will be.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, okay. And so then, do you know where the training camps are? Is there training camps?
Yeah, so there will be a holding camp in Reims. We went last year in June just to trial it out, and we went there before we went to Seti Collie, and it was really good, to be honest. The facilities, and it was really close to Paris as well, and it's a brand new pool, and it was really good. So hoping to get back there as well.
Oh, that'd be fantastic fun. When it's Seti Collie, it's a great meet, isn't it? So that's interesting. And then how long before the actual Olympic Games first gun on that first morning? How long before? Do you know how long before the team would arrive in Paris?
Honestly, no. I'm sure that somebody who has been to the Olympic Games would probably know. I'm guessing maybe a few weeks, maybe 2 weeks before, I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure we'll have time to be in the village and stuff, get ourselves settled in, and obviously go to the holding camp before. But yeah, my guess is about 2 weeks maybe.
Well, very quickly. Are you looking forward to it?
Yes.
It's a silly question, isn't it?
I'm very excited. Very excited. You know, I really am hoping to be picked next week, because, you know, it's obviously been my dream since I was a little girl to go to the Olympics, and, you know, if I get that email next week, I'll be absolutely delighted, and yeah, just really excited. So hopefully we go in.
Well, Katie Shanahan, it's great chatting to you. I'm not quite sure. Hopefully you can stay with us. Yes, great, you can stay. She's nodding up there. It's fantastic. This heat 4 of the women's 800 metres freestyle. A very good last couple of hundred there from Kate Cotter. She came back really well. Oh my goodness me, look at that time. 9 minutes, 0.96. 96 100ths of a second outside breaking the 9-minute barrier. But it is a new lifetime best for her. Kate Cotter. In lane number 4, wins it. Second was Phoebe Arbuckle, and 9:01.6. Third, Amelia John of City of Cardiff. Wow, she swam really well, Kate. She just timed it perfectly right at the end there. So the fastest heat is tonight. The fastest 10 still to come, but this is the second last heat. It's heat 4. It's the last heat we'll see this morning. Kate Cotter wins it for Chelmsford, 9 minutes, 0.96. Phoebe Arbuckle second, with Amelia John third, Ava Cook fourth, and Ruby Griffiths in fifth of Mount Kelly. Lucy Parsons sixth. So I think we're over to the next race up, which I think is the men's 50 metres backstroke. Paul, one of your races. Over to you, sir.
Thanks, Andy. Still recovering from that wee 6K paddle story there from Katie, but just about recovered. Lyndon Longhorn going in for this one swimmer in this 50 metres backstroke. He's a British record holder, Lyndon. It's a classification S4, and this 50 back in the para programme for swimmers in the S1 to S5 classification, I should say. Saw a couple of good swims last night from the women, Tully Kearney and Ellie Chalice going in that event, but it's only Lyndon this one. Oh, what a swim he had against Harvey Phillips the other day. Harvey not going on this backstroke. I think we'll see Harvey a little bit later on, actually, in the 100 freestyle. I think Harvey's going in that one. But he's left his S4 colleague, Lyndon Longhorn, the British record holder, to take to the water in this one.
Take your marks.
Interesting how Lyndon's going to swim this one. He will be coming back for the final, but he's guaranteed that place. But, you know, no point in hanging about. Let's give it a go. Let's see if we get a good time. He's got 2 chances to do that, so why not just go for it in the heats? His British record, 50.12, that was set in the Tokyo Paralympic Games. And it was great for Lyndon to be selected that. He tried to make selection for London. Not sure, I don't think he was around at the selection for Rio, as he gave up the sport for a couple of years, came back and got his rewards to be selected for Tokyo, and performed really well, you have to say, in Tokyo. Some excellent times. You see the level of impairment for Lyndon. S1 to 10, those are physical impairments, and with S1 being the most severe, and Lyndon affected in all 4 limbs. That one long left arm. Let's see if he can challenge his entry time. Well, 53.21 for Lyndon. So he's a couple of seconds outside his British record. But he'll be back again tonight, hopefully, to have another crack at that time. 53.21 for Lyndon. Well, interesting. He hasn't made a nomination time, Lyndon. The S4 swimmers, the nomination time's all based on international standards. And not many of the men have achieved qualification standards. There's still a few spots up for grabs in the para events for the male swimmers. Not very many for the females. There's only about 5 or so left for the females, so still lots to play for Lyndon. So a good swim in the final tonight, then might just see him catch the eye of the selectors. We never know. Anyway, 200 backstroke. Katie's still with us, and back to Katie and Andy, of course.
Well, thank you, Paul. And next race up is this men's 200 metres backstroke. There's 7 heats of this 200 back. This used to be an event that I did when I was a kid. So hard. I'm going to ask Katie Shanahan in a second. Which is the hardest event on the whole programme? I think 200 backstroke is actually right up there, but what do I know? Katie Shanahan's going to tell us in a second. World Championship finalist on the 200 metres backstroke. Her lifetime best 2:07. Wow. First heat, men's 200 back. Joseph Adams fastest seed in lane number 4.
Take your marks.
So De Toft of Guildford City up there right at the top in 0-1. It's Adam White of Millfield, John of Bridgend in 2, Ireland in 3, Adams 4, Doherty Simpson of City of Glasgow in 5, Austin Manley of Repton in 6, the youngest man I think in this competition, age 13 in lane 6, gracious me. Ollie Burns in 7 of Sheffield, 8 is Harvey Reid, and 9 is Daniel Johnson. So Katie Shanahan joins me. She's a 200 backstroke expert. Commonwealth Games 200 backstroke, one of my favourite races I ever commented on, and also one of the favourite pictures I've seen is your face after you swam it, and you did so well. What do you remember that Commonwealth Games 200 back?
Yeah, I remember quite a lot. I remember that obviously I was coming out of it already, got a bronze medal, and coming into that I knew that there was also a chance of getting another medal in it. Obviously I had the likes of Kaylee McEwen, Minna Atherton, Kylie Mass, so I knew it would be quite a tough field, but you know, I held my own, and I knew that on that last 50, if I was near any of them, then I'd be able to have a shot. And yeah, I just pushed it, and I managed to get that bronze medal.
Well, it was brilliant. It was so much fun to commentate on. I say thank you very much indeed for giving us that. It was super. Joseph Adams started very well from Chelsea Westminster. They're having a great meet. They are. They really are. Also going well is Finley John of Bridgend up in lane number 2 in that white hat. And maybe down just in lane 6, Austin Manley, the 13-year-old, also going really well. Tactically, maybe I'll ask you in the next race a little bit more, but tactically, how do you go about a 200 back? Because if your legs get tired, they sink, and then your body position changes so much, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a lot of different ways that you can swim a 200 back. You know, you can either absolutely go for it from the start and try and hold on. You could negative split it. You know, there's many ways that you can do it. So yeah, but it looks like these guys will. Lane number 6 is coming through in this last 50.
Well, good. He looks very good, doesn't he, Austin Manley of Repton, the 13-year-old. Is he going to win it? Oh, just touched out by Adam White, and his fan club's just gone nuts. 2:07.1. Well, his best time was a 2:10.2. He's just gone 2:07.1. Goodness me, 0.3 of a second lifetime best. And now Austin Manley, well, you called him swimming well there, Katie. He's just got an age group record. Austin Manley, but it says he's 14. I think he's 13, you know. I do, because his 14th birthday's coming up. 2:07.6 for a 13-year-old.
That's very impressive.
He's 14 before the end of the year, but he is 13. Goodness me, 2:07 for a 13-year-old.
Wow. Future looks bright for him. Yeah.
Gracious me. So Adam White wins it, and the 13-year-old set the new national age group record, 2:07. His best was 2:10 as well, so 2 3-second lifetime best for the first 2 finishes in the first heat of the men's 200 metres backstroke. Yeah, right in the centre. I think it's in lane number 4. It's Benjamin Guthrie of City of Milton Keynes. This is heat 2 of 7 heats of the men's 200 metres backstroke. Some great school programmes around Great Britain at the moment. 3 of them represented here. Just had Millfield win that previous heat. Repton in 2. Royal Wolverhampton School in 3, Mount Kelly in 6. Some fabulous programs.
Take your marks.
So the second heat of 7 heats of the men's 200 metres backstroke, and I'm, of course, joined by superstar 200 metres backstroker Katie Shanahan. Casey, you said there are lots of different ways of swimming 200 metres backstroke. How do you do it, and which are the super strengths that you play to in order to deliver that strategy on a 200 backstroke?
Yeah, I mean, throughout my whole career, I've kind of kept the same 200 back the way I swim it. I would always try and somewhat negative split it. I always usually come back quite hard on that last 100 metres, especially the last 50. However, recently, obviously, racing the girls and, you know, World and the Commonwealth Games, I've realised that I do have to start working on my front end speed. You know, if I'm going out 62, it's just not really fast enough anymore. I'm going to need to be going out 61 if I'm wanting to, you know, compete with these girls, because they do have that easy speed, whereas unfortunately I don't. So you've got to go out in 61. So what's your best on 100? 60 point.
However, and you've got to go 61 to your feet, but 60 point to your hand is your best time, lifetime best on 100.
Yeah.
So you're pretty much full on.
Yeah. So it is pretty much like all out I would need to go. Wow. However, I do believe I could do it. So I just need to practice. I don't know. There's almost a part of me that's somewhat scared to go out that fast. But you know, I think I just need to practice it and start learning, especially before the summer.
Wow, I'm astonished. I didn't realise that you were actually. I mean, I should probably know, shouldn't I, if you're going out that quick? That's amazing. So mentally, then, you've got to go out pretty hard. You get to the 100 metres turn. You've got another 100 metres to go. How do you approach that third 50 then? Yeah,
well, I do think the third 50 is one of the most important 50s in the field. It's kind of where you can pull away, and especially before that last 50, if you get a good lead, then you're looking good coming down the last 50.
Well, looking good down the last 50. Andrew Brodie, look at him in lane number 5. He's way ahead here. He's got a lifetime best of 2:08.8. Come on, 2:04.3. Oh my goodness me, utterly extraordinary. 2 5-second lifetime bests on the first heat. In the second heat, he's just gone a massive lifetime best again. Wow.
4 seconds, wow.
Remember you did that? Well, you probably still are, right? You still doing 4-second lifetime bests?
God, I'd love to do a 4-second lifetime best.
So, confirmation of the result of the second heat of the 200 metres backstroke. Andrew Brodie's knocked the lights out of it from Edinburgh University. 2:04.3 with a lifetime best previously of 2:08.8. The Derby XL swimmer coming in second there, and third. Oh, I just missed the scoreboard on third. Do apologise. So the next race up is heat 3 of the men's 200 metres backstroke. Fastest seed is Ethan Lawton of Derby XL, with Jake Franzi of Worksop Dolphins in 5, Isaac Dodds in 6 from University of Bath. There's 4 juniors in this in lanes 1. That's Callum Peebles of East Lothian. In 5, it's Franzi. Finley Pope of Ramsbottom in 7. And an 8 swimmer from Thurrock, Cherikin. Heat 3, 7 heats in total.
Take your marks.
So we're coming towards the sharp end of this men's 200 metres backstroke. Just a couple more heats, and then we've got the cycle seeded heats, the fastest 30 guys going in those last 3 heats. So 200 metres backstroke, I did ask a question, never give you the opportunity to answer it. Not a leading question, but out of all the events, which one do you think is the hardest? I mean, there's all this chat, and you go down the coffee shop and have a couple of lattes or something, and you go 400 medley, 200 fly, 200 back. Breaststrokers always think there it is, but it never is, surely. What do you think, Casey?
I honestly think it's the 400 IM that's the hardest, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah. I mean, I probably do 2 of the harder events, the 4 IM and the 2 back, but I would say 4 IM. I think not only physically, but mentally, it's very hard.
Really? Harder than 1500?
Oh. I'm going to say yes, because
really?
I swim it. However, I do not envy the 1500 swimmers, because I would not like to be doing that.
this is a ridiculous question, but I'll ask you anyway. Do you consider yourself a distance swimmer, middle distance, or which group are you in? Do you group yourselves by distance?
Yeah, if I were, I'd probably say middle distance. I wouldn't really say distance since I only do 1/400.
Well, there we go. Middle distance. Casey Shanahan, Commonwealth medalist, European medalist, World Championship finalist. Where did you place at Fukuoka? Fourth?
Fourth.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, this is heat 3 of the 7 heats of the men's 200 metres backstroke. And Nicolau in lane number 3. Antonio Nicolau of Swansea University is leading, and lovely stroke. Just have a look at that stroke there, Casey.
Yeah, he's got a lovely rate going on actually, and it was very smooth and long as well coming up this last 15 metres.
Also going well closer to us in lane 7 is Finley Pope, possibly finishing, well, he is finishing faster, isn't he?
Yeah.
From Ramsbottom. Great swim, that is 2:06.6 off a 2:08.1 lifetime best. So, well, it's sort of becoming the trendy thing to do, isn't it? You come here, you swim your lifetime best. It's great to see, though. The mentality just seems to be, you're going to come here, and even though it is the Olympic trials, and you were talking about the pressure and all of that goes with it, but you come here, you deliver your best self in the heats, and you give yourself a cracking chance of progressing through to a night swim. And it's such a different thing, isn't it, to go from just a heat swim to actually going through and having a night swim as well.
No, definitely. I think definitely here as well with the depth that we've got. I mean, in this 200 back, it will probably be hard to be making it back. But, you know, Finley with the 2:06, it's looking good. He might be able to make that back tonight.
Well, it's a great swim, and all you can do is your best, as they say. But he's just, again, he's knocked the lights out of it. There's another 2 seconds lifetime best for Finley, winning that heat 3. Heat 4 of the men's 200 backstroke now. Charlie Broom is the fastest seed from Leeds. Right next to his teammate in 3, that's Daniel Ransom. Daniel Ransom's had a great week, the junior. Really has. Fantastic 200 medley on day 4. Really has swum well. Also, George Whittle at the top there. Brother of Jacob Whittle here. Coached by John Adaji. Another 6 juniors in this heat 4 of the men's 200 backstroke.
Take your marks.
Well, Alan Lynn, who's the boss of the junior swimming for Great Britain, and that's getting those juniors through to seniors. He's got a heck of a job to pick the team here. He really does for the Junior European Championship. 49 swimmers before this session had done consideration times for that Junior European team. 49 of them. He can only pick 30. That's brutal, isn't it? He's
got a very hard job coming up, but I mean, I suppose it's a good thing. It shows the depth that we've got in the juniors, and it's looking good for the next 4 years before LA as well.
It really is lovely, sir. Lovely turn in lane number 5 from Tom Barden. I mean, turns, they do talk about turns as the 5th stroke, don't they, sometimes? What's your view on turns? I mean, you guys at Stirling, what a fantastic program you've got at Stirling, but how much focus is there on the turns versus the actual the swimming part of it?
Yeah, there's quite a lot. We've been doing, well, over the past 2 years, we've been doing quite a lot of underwater work. Steve and Brad like to call them ballistic booms. So, you know, every time whenever we do a good turn, we're always like, oh, come on, ballistic booms. Which is quite a good saying, but yeah, it's really important. It can get you ahead, and, you know, it looks like Tom's really using those underwaters here to pull himself away.
Well, we'll have a quick look. What is the secret to doing a really good backstroke turn? And talk us through Tom Barden's turn here from Hailsham on this next wall. The approach, the turnaround, and the push-off. Yeah,
so it looks like he's increasing his rate. He's had a good rotation speed. His feet are coming up quite high, and, you know, it's about 5-7 metres off the ball there, and now he's really increasing his rate and coming up in this last 50 metres.
Well, it looked really good, and that 5 or 6 kicks underwater, keeping his stroke rate pretty good, getting a little bit bouncy maybe if I'm being really picky down this last 25 metres or so, but he's getting tired. He swum it really well. Tom Barden in lane number 5. His best time's 2:03.2. He's going to be underneath that. Look at that, 2:02.6. Over half a second inside his lifetime best to win. Tom Barden. Second was Charlie Broom. Third, I think Sean McCann from Loughborough University had a A couple of great distance freestyle races. Sean McCann, particularly that's 800. He was outstanding on that. Lovely to see. When the swimmers hit the turn, they just rocket off it. Ballistic boom, I love that. I'm going to use that again. But it's a thing of beauty to watch it, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Tom Barden wins it. Charlie Broom second. Sean McCann third. That was heat 4 of the men's 200 metres backstroke. The fastest 30 now, cycle seeded among these next 3 heats, heats 5, 6 and 7. And Brodie Williams of Bath Performance going in lane number 4. Commonwealth champion. What a race that was at the Commonwealth Games.
Amazing. One of the races of the meet, in my opinion. It was really, really good to see Brodie get that gold medal.
Wow. Jet, is there like camaraderie between the men and the women in the 200 backstroke, or do you see how they're just other swimmers?
Yeah, not really, just other swimmers.
Other swimmers, yeah. Get on with it, mate. Yeah, all right, you're good, but so is everybody else. Well, this guy's very good indeed, Brodie Williams in lane 4. Commonwealth champion. He was only 5th on the 100 metres backstroke, so he's not on the team yet. This is a really, really important 24 hours for Brodie Williams. He's in lane number 4.
Take your marks.
So 4th, 5th and 6th finishes on the 100 metres backstroke here. 4th was Matt Ward in lane 5. 5th was Brodie Williams in lane 4. And in lane 6, Jack Skerry of University of Bath was 6th in the 100 metres backstroke. But very tight indeed. Only 2 100ths of a second splitting second and splitting Brodie Williams from Jack Skerry in that. And well, such as the competition here at this meet, it really is tight, and no more so in the 200 metres freestyle, which is the last event today, which is utterly nuts. But our top 3 200 backstrokers in this event, they've all gone underneath the consideration time as their lifetime best. Only 2 per country go to the Olympics. So the stress, the pressure, how do you deal with that? I mean, one, who do you think is going to get it? A slightly unfair question. You don't have to answer specifically, but it'll be interesting. But, you know, who do you think is going to get it? And then how do you go about it? Because that's just so tough, isn't it? 3 into 2 doesn't go.
Honestly, I could not call who's going to get those 2 top spots tonight. I think from the men's 100 backstroke, you know, Ollie doing that British record and Johnny Marshall nearly going sub 53 was absolutely amazing. But, you know, we've still got Luke Greenbank coming up. His qualification time is 1:57, and I'm pretty sure he's been under that, maybe is his PB. Yeah, which he has actually well under, so you know it's looking good for him, but who knows what Ollie Morgan's going to do. And Brodie Williams here is looking very, very strong, as is Matt Ward, so it'll be such a good fight tonight.
Well, it will be great, and at the moment Brodie Williams is leading and he's looking very good. His lifetime best is 1:56.1. I mean, on paper, Luke Greenbank is the fastest by a long way. He's the Olympic bronze medalist. He's in the final heat, but it doesn't work like that, does it? On paper, Brodie Williams 1:59.4, comfortable heat. Matt Ward second, 1:59.8, and Jack Skerry third. It's not easy to swim slow. We've been talking about that through the week. That wasn't slow, obviously, but just off your pace. You practice race pace all week, and then you come here and you try to swim a bit slow. It's not. How do you do that? It's not particularly easy, is it? Yeah,
it's not easy at all. I think as well in these heats, it's important that you do put in a good heat swim, especially preparing your body for that final. And I think these boys this morning will want to be, you know, putting in a good swim to get a good place in the lane tonight.
Well, Brodie Williams has done just that with his 1:59.4. I expect sub 2 minutes is going to get in with Matt Ward in second. It looks like sub 2 is the target for heats 6 and 7. But Brodie Williams and Matt Ward done a good job there. Both Bath swimmers, one from the Performance Centre, Brodie Williams, and the other from the university. So the 6th heat of 7 in this men's 200 metres backstroke, just 2 to go, and Ollie Morgan set a British record on that 100 metres backstroke. What a great swim that was. He took Liam Tancock's British record from 2009. There he is. He's quite late to the sport, isn't he? Amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it's really impressive, the development he's had over the past few years, and, you know, credit to having his coach, and, yeah, it's looking good for the next few years as well for him.
Well, he's looked great. He did a clean sweep last year at the National Championships, 50, 100, 200 back. There's only 100 and 200 here at these trials, no 50s at the Olympics. really high up as well.
Very
My
high
goodness
up.
me, yeah, amazing.
Yeah, it's good to see all the different, you know, levels that the boys pull up on these backstroke starts. They're all different, and Ollie Morgan, wow, he's had such a great start there. Very, very good.
What would he have done to make sure? Because I mean, all these guys practice starts all the time. There's 10 guys in there. What is it about his starts and turns that are so good? Because his turn as well. Talk us through this one, Katie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, very fast rotation speed there, and a lovely glide off the wall, and he's excelling himself quite far away from Charlie Brown there, about 12 metres off the wall, which is very impressive. And yeah, he's looking very strong coming down this second 50.
Always interested in the balance between going far underwater, which is bizarre. It's the fastest phase of the race is actually underwater, not the swimming phase. You're faster underwater. But if you do, I mean, let's watch again. I think you caught it at 10 metres underwater there, Katie. It's quite a long way to be holding your breath and working hard with those kicks.
No, it is. You know, I think in the 200 back as well, it really does burn your lungs. But, I mean, it's worth it for coming up ahead of everybody else.
Well, it's good to see, and certainly Charlie Brown going with him. And he went to the World Junior Championships, now training with Mel Marshall at the Loughborough Performance Centre, 8th on the 100 metres backstroke. And he looks good closer to us in that black hat, Charlie Brown, from Ollie Morgan leading, and these two comfortably ahead. So with two guys just under 2 minutes in the first heat, these guys look well. They've turned in 1:28.3, so they're going to be there or thereabouts, maybe just ducking under as well.
Yeah, these boys probably will be going sub 2 minutes, and you know, Ollie here doesn't look like he's putting too much of an effort in. Charlie's stroke rate's quite high. It's looking like he's trying to pull him down, but Ollie's just coming away now, and he's looking very strong in these last 15 metres.
Well, he looks like he's turned the gas off a little bit, doesn't he? Also coming back in lane number 6 is Adam Graham of Millfield, but no doubt about the winner. 1:58.8. That's the easiest 1:58 I've seen in a long time. Goodness me, he did look good. I like this bit as well. They try and style it out like, I'm not really puffing. Do you do that?
Yeah, sometimes, because sometimes if I'm looking like I'm about to die, it's not really the best look, is it, on the telly?
Is that what you do? You don't do it for the telly, though, sure. Oh, that's hilarious. I do find it funny, though, because you're desperate for oxygen.
Oh,
who's really good at that? Adam Peaty's great at that. He's just nods his head, gives it a bit of, I am. And he's, because he is, isn't he? Brilliant. So Ollie Morgan, who wins heat 6 of the men's 200 backstroke, 1 to go. Charlie Brown second. Two guys again under 2 minutes. So it looks like anyone in the final heat under 2 minutes, and they're going to make the final. I expect there to be at least a couple in there, maybe 3. A couple of lifetime bests will need to be done if it's more than Luke Greenbank and Cam Brooker. But there is the Olympic rings of the Olympic bronze medalist on this 200 metres backstroke. It is the fastest seed. It is in lane number 4, Luke Greenbank. Swimming next to his brother, Samuel. Samuel's in 3, Luke Greenbank in 4. We don't see many brothers in swimming next door to each other in the same race. There's some very good brothers, though, aren't there, around?
Oh yeah, I mean, we've obviously got these two. We've also got the likes of Max and Joe, who've both swam amazingly well. I mean, Max has got this, the British record, and Joe, well, I think one of the surprise sums of the meet, winning that 100 butterfly.
Well, the British record holder on this 200 metres backstroke is Luke Greenbank. He's in 4 with his brother, Samuel Greenbank, making great progress. It's at City of Sheffield, coached by Mike Taylor up there. Of course, Luke Greenbank with Mel Marshall in that fantastic stable at Loughborough. And talking about wonderful programmes, Stirling's had just a wonderful meet. And the squad that you guys have put together is incredible.
Yeah, no, it's a credit to Brad and Steve for all the work that they've done. And, you know, I think Stirling's always had such a good group of guys, but I think, well, this year especially, it's so strong. You know, we've got the likes of Kiana and Lucy Grieve as well, who done really well last night.
And they certainly have. Look at this, Jonathan Marshall. I was talking about Luke and Cam Brooker in 4 and 5. Look at Jonathan Marshall's first 100 metres here. He's swimming really well.
Yeah, he's looking very smooth as well.
And he's good underwater as well, isn't he? Well, who's the best of those two? They're both pretty good. Luke had slightly better turn, maybe.
Yeah, I'd say Luke probably just came up a little bit ahead, and it looks as if he's pulling away now from Johnny.
So Johnny Marshall in 6, closer to us with that blue hat. So I think is that a Gators hat, Florida Gators hat?
Yes, it is. I actually seen him do one of those, the Gators claps at the end of his 100 backstroke.
It was good, wasn't it?
Yes, it was good.
Did he make the team? I think he's a second in under the time, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, I mean he was second, so it looks his chances are looking good.
Fantastic. Well, Luke Greenbank is looking very good, the leader. He is the Olympic bronze medalist on this 200 backstroke. He's working pretty hard. He seems to be one of those workhorse guys, doesn't he, Luke Greenbank? He always puts in an honest effort. He always works really well. I suppose you would do if you worked with Mel Marshall, because I think she'd have you for breakfast if you didn't. But this is a very good heat. Let's look at the time. It's really quick. Really quick. Wow. Well, 1:57.3. Yeah. Didn't need to go that fast. Goodness gracious. That's very fast indeed. So Luke Greenbank, 1:57.3. One of the fastest heats I think I've seen him do domestically. Second was Jonathan Marshall, Johnny, 1:58.9. So I think he's going to have a centre lane into the final this evening, with Cam Brooker in third of Bath Performance and Sebastian Somerset in fourth, with brother Greenbank Samuel in fifth, 2:01.93.
Yeah, that was a good heat there from the boys, and the results are about to come through, but it looks like it's going to be a very stacked final tonight.
Well, 2 minutes 0.95 has made it Jack Sherry, but look at those top guys, Katie.
Yeah.
Luke, Ollie, Johnny, Brody, Charlie.
It's going to be some fight tonight. I mean, all those boys, I know that they're all capable of doing a very good time, and you know, it's whoever gets their hand on the wall first.
Well, it's going to be great. Such is the brutalness. I'm not sure that's an English word, but anyway, whatever it is. Toughness of
brutality.
Brutality.
That's
There you go. There you go. Thank you. The brutality of an Olympic trials. I mean, it really is. It's first past the post, and if you do it, great. And if you don't, well, it's almost tough luck. There is that opportunity for the selectors to have a couple of discretionary picks, which is so important. Yeah. It really is.
Mm-hmm. No, it definitely is. I mean, you know, we've got a few guys in the team. Freya Anderson, one of them, obviously struggling with glandular fever, who I'm sure she'll be getting a discretionary pick as well at some point.
Well, excellent last heat that on that men's 200 metres backstroke, and just finish off this summary of all athletes in this men's 200 backstroke, and I think John's actually got Luke Greenbank with him. Fantastic. Let's see what they've got to say.
I'm down here with Luke Greenbank. Luke, fastest qualifier in that 2 back by nearly a second and a half. You were close to that nomination time, but that looked like a really comfortable swim for you.
Yeah, the aim this morning was just to kind of blow off the cobwebs. Had a few days off, so yeah, that was really good. Definitely more in there tonight, and yeah, looking forward to it.
I mean, it's a tough one for you as well, because this is your main event. It's the last day. It's a long way sort of watching everyone else go. Does that sort of have a bit of a mental toll?
Yeah, but I think you've got to kind of take it as it comes, really. See it as an advantage. If you can deal with it, then it puts you in a good stead. Like when you go to the major competitions, could be waiting around for like possibly 8 days. So you've got to kind of deal with it, and yeah, just kind of make the best of it.
Well, look, good luck tonight. Go be amazing. It's going to be a great race.
Cheers, thank you.
Well, it is going to be a fantastic race, that final of the 200 metres backstroke. So next event up is the women's 100 metres breaststroke. There's 9 heats of this, and I'll just let them go and then say goodbye to Katie Shanahan. Fantastic to have her in the commentary box. This is the first heat of the women's 100 breaststroke. Phoebe Williams-Jones of City of Cardiff is in lane 4, the fastest seed.
Relax, swimmers, please stand down.
Just a little bit of extra movement at the start here, so we're just try and make sure that everything is nice and steady. There's some movement on the diving boards at the moment, so just make sure it's nice and still. Emily Elliott of Leyland in 2, in 3 it's Bound of Rushmore, 4 Williams-Jones of Cardiff, 5 is Hall of Millfield, and Holly Robinson of Repton is in 6. First heat of 9.
Take your marks.
So here we go, the first heat of 9. Phoebe Williams-Jones is the fastest seed from Cardiff in 5. Well, Katie, thank you so much for joining us. Your first time in the commentary box. Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, I've absolutely loved it. Thank you very much for having me.
Is it what you expected? I mean, it's all nice and smooth when it sounds come over on the telly, but is it what you expected?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot harder than I expected, so hats off to you. I don't know how you do it.
Which part's hard then? What do you think is the hard bit?
I think just like commentating on the actual race, because it's going so fast, and you know, by the time they finish, if you're still talking, you're having to finish up what you're saying, but you're wanting to say more, and yeah.
Yeah,
but it's been good. Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Super. And there's some bits that people don't hear, isn't there? Like the bit where somebody's talking to you in your ear at the same time as you're actually commentating.
Yeah, I can. Someone's doing that now, actually. I could not do that. So, yeah.
There we go. Anyway, Katie Shanahan, absolute superstar. I've sort of picked you for the Olympic team. You're not on it yet, but I'm absolutely sure you will be. Congratulations on what you've done this week. I'm really looking forward to seeing you over the next few months and into Paris and what you do in Paris. Congratulations. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Alrighty, take care. Well, that is the first heat of the women's 100 metres breaststroke. And Phoebe Williams-Jones was the fastest seed. But actually touching the wall first is Holly Robinson of Repton, Eleanor Hall second, and Amelie Elliott of Leyland Barracudas in third. What a joy it was to have Katie Shanahan in the commentary box. There we go. So Holly Robinson of Repton wins it, 1:13.4. Her lifetime best was 1:14.1, so it's another well over half a second inside of her best. Repton swimming well here. 9 heats in this women's 100 metres breaststroke, and I've got to say, this is one of the ones don't normally, if I'm allowed to say this, don't normally get too excited about the breaststroke. Mr. Morehouse, of course, was Olympic, well, always will be Olympic champion and world record holder on that 100 breaststroke, but a little while ago now, he loves it. Looking forward to that, the Olympic Games, Mr. Peaty. Got to get excited about that one, haven't you? So this is the second heat of the women's 100 metres breaststroke, and we've got fastest seed is Emily McGee of Dundee City Aquatics, Midlands champion on the 50 and the 100 metres breaststroke a couple of years ago. In 5, it's Holly Waymond from Maxwell. She's had a good meet. She's won quite a few races here. It's very even down this first 50. The second heat of 9 of this women's 100 metres breaststroke. And, well, really is close. Almost an inverted spearhead as well. The slowest swimmers going out in the middle, and the faster ones at the outside in lanes 8, 0, 7, 9. The first 4 to touch on that first 50 of this heat 2 of the women's 100 metres breaststroke. And well, they're all coming into a line now. This is just amazing. Thank goodness for electronic timing. The seeds, I suppose it would be, wouldn't it? Because the seeding, there's only 0.2 of a second split the entire field. Normally have somebody go out really quick, but it's almost like they're swimming exactly per their seeding. Maybe up there in lane 3, Eva Harris-Brown, is it? Who's going to get the touch? I think she might have touched the wall first, actually, in lane number 3. It's the 4th one from the top with 0 at the top. I think you can see she doesn't have a number and a time against her, but I think that might be just a little bit of a pad malfunction, so that does happen every now and again. But I've got Evie Harris-Brown on my computer screen as a 1:12.93 winning it, and if that's true, that's a full second lifetime best, which is very good indeed. See confirmation result if we've got it here. Yes, indeed. So Eva Harris-Brown from Camden, Swiss, 1:12.9 wins it. A new lifetime best for her. Sophie Hamilton second. Gabrielle Hunt of City of Liverpool in third. New lifetime best for all 3 of those swimmers. So heat 3 of the women's 100 metres breaststroke, and Morgan Brand of Rugby's the fastest seed. Amber Rigg in 7. She's had a great meet. Really interesting. She's done a European Junior consideration time on the 200 backstroke. There's a chance of selection here. Of course, there are consideration times on that, junior programme. Not surprising, a Cockermouth swimmers set a 200 metres backstroke consideration time, with Luke and Sam Greenbank, of course, just going in that men's. Well, Paul. There's been some fantastic swims so far, but this women's 100 metres breaststroke hotting up, and there's some cracking swimmers later on with Angred Evans possibly having a crack at Molly Renshaw's British record. Molly's not with us this morning, but so we can talk about her while she's not here.
No, Angred Evans very close. I think it was 4/100ths outside the record when she swam in Edinburgh a few weeks ago. So Angred Evans is one to watch, and she doesn't even go in the final heat. It's Cara Hanlon who's got the fastest entry time. So those two should be going head to head as well. And Imogen Clark as well, the speed merchant, the 50-metre specialist, she goes as well in those final 3 heats. So should be absolutely excellent. But well, you said in the first heat we're all in a row. We've got 2 swimmers just stretching out in this second heat here ahead of the others. Looks like Mount Kelly swimmer Jasmine Dacuna and Alicia Pollard as well going well.
Well, they are going well with 10 metres to go. This is Jasmine Dacuna of Mount Kelly. 1:13.6 is her lifetime best. Wow, 1:11.7. She doesn't do 1:12, says Jasmine. 1:13.6 to 1:11.7. 2-second lifetime best, pretty much. Yeah, what happened there? I don't do 2:12s, 1:12s. So, no, don't. What's the point? What's the point in bothering on the 12s? Go straight to 11s. Well done.
That was great. Excellent swim there from Jasmine Dacuna, stretching away really strong in the second half of that one. 1:11.72 to win that one by a huge margin. Look at that, 1.8 seconds ahead of Bonnie Mooney, who just got in 2/100ths ahead of Morgan Brand.
So that was heat 3. This is now heat 4. Rattling through these, aren't we? This is heat 4 of 9 heats of the women's 100 metres breaststroke. Ailsa MacDonald of University of Edinburgh is the fastest seed, with Matilda Ransom in 5 from City of Cambridge. Sophie Moore in 6 from Crawley. Up there in lane 1, Chloe Bowen. Just see her teammate do a 2-second lifetime best. What can she do? Had a good 200 IM last night. Well, she's one of 6 juniors to have made the consideration time for the women's 200 metres individual medley. They can only take 4 per nation, maximum of 4 per nation, and she's one of 6. So the selector's going to have a right old challenge to make sure that they pick the right team there, the best team. But Chloe Bounds put herself in contingent in the hunt, I should say. She's up there in lane number 1.
Yeah, looks like her teammate maybe going to lead them through here. Gabrielle Idle-Beavers, just 16 years of age. There's a new youngster, Annabelle Cook, is in that one as well. She is, well, she's not even 15 yet, 15 in a couple of days. She goes down there in lane number 7, but Mount Kelly having a good morning so far. These 2 swimmers look like they're stretching out. It's the bragging rights for the club swimmers there. They're going head to head. Well, yeah, they're against the rest of the field, but they would be desperate to get in ahead of each other, I think.
Well, this is fascinating, isn't it? Because Jasmine Dacuna has just gone a 1:11, and that's faster than these ladies who are meant to be faster than her. So let's see what she does here. Oh, she's just gone 1:11.1. Well, gracious me. Whatever you can do, Jasmine Dacuna, I can do better. Look at that. That's a great swim. It really is. Gabrielle Idle-Beavers of Mount Kelly in 3, 1:11.1. Really good. 1:13.2 from Chloe Bowen. Another lifetime, just outside of her lifetime best in second. Wow. Confirmation of the result then. Gabrielle Idle-Beavers wins it. 1:11.1. So we've had a 1:11, a 1:12 and a 1:13 from the Mount Kelly swimmers in the last 2 heats. 2 massive lifetime bests. Wow.
That was great stuff, wasn't it? With teammates pushing each other on. As we go into the next heat, heat number 5 of the 9 heats. There is the lineup. Daniel Sion in the middle, Grace Earp in lane number 5 as well. It's well, 1:12.7 down to 1:13.06, so he's right across the pool, I think. These swimmers start, and you have to say, we've had some great guests in the heat sessions, haven't we? It's been really good. All the people that we've had in have been absolutely fantastic. Katie Shanahan was great this morning, wasn't she? And Drew, of course.
You don't forget him, he's the boss.
Yeah, better not forget the boss.
Yeah, you start with him. Before you start with him, you go, oh, the chief exec was fantastic. And Shanahan wasn't bad either.
I was going for the big finish.
He's called Paul Noble. No, you're absolutely right. We had some crackers, haven't we? Freya was lovely to talk to, I have to say. That was really great fun. And we've had Hannah Miley in, we've had Amy Wilmot in. Now we had Katie Shanahan in the box as well. With Chris Spice was fabulous, wasn't he? The performance director,
Ross
really
as well.
Interesting. Yeah. Oh, Ross Davenport.
Well.
Yeah, well, he's just a double Commonwealth champion. We've got another secret weapon for you coming up fairly shortly. I'm really delighted to add one more this morning, but I'll keep that one secret for the moment because it really is properly exciting. A world short course champion is going to join us. But look at this. This is very interesting. Ailsa McDonald from Edinburgh University is the fastest seed, and she's going well. Actually, that's sorry, excuse me. That's 4. This is 5. This is Daniel Seong of City Milton Keynes. So she's second, just second is Daniel Seong, just touched out by Hannah Capron of Repton. So the Repton swimmer up in 2. Repton really are having a great meet, aren't they? Hannah Capron winning it from Danielle Seong in second. Third was Asia Kent of Mount Kelly. They've had a great set of breaststrokers. Gracious, imagine being a breaststroke at Mount Kelly. Another 1:13 with a 1:12 with a 1:11. What a squad they've got.
What a club championships that's going to be. Hannah Capron, 8 100s, separating the top 3 there. And only, well, 0.2 of a second. And the next 4th and 5th as well. Emma Alec-File in 4th. There's the next heat, heat 6 of the night. Very close to the cyclically seeded heats now. This is the one prior to those 3 heats. Emily Smith. He's going in the centre lane row. Tunbridge Wells Monson. Amelia Riggett next to her. There's another Mount Kelly swimmer, Amelia Riggett. Can she keep up the pace of her colleagues we've seen in the previous heats? Sophie Brassington as well from Mount Kelly up there in lane number 1. So again, it's very tight in terms of entry times here. Just 0.8 of a second separating all the swimmers as well. Jasmine Carter right down there in that familiar orange cap of Basildon and Phoenix. We've seen her in a few races and she's gone off. It's an absolute bullet there.
Well, she really has, right at the bottom here, and that's Basildon Phoenix swimming hat. And she's coached by Doug Campbell at Basildon, himself an Olympian. I think he went to the, did he go to the 80, maybe the 84 Olympics? Certainly went to a few fabulous Scottish backstroke champion. Wonderful he was, really was. And look at this, Jasmine Carter, her sister Sky is also swimming here. Jasmine just 15 years of age, and she's going very well indeed. So at the moment, lane 9, in theory, the slowest seed in this, the 6th heat of 9 of the women's 100 metres breaststroke. And she's going well. Coming back in the centre now is Amelia Riggett of Mount Kelly in lane number 5. But still leading, I think, just is Jasmine Carter. It's going to be tight now. Is she going to hold on? Also going really well up there in 2. It's Georgia Gussie of Plymouth. Gussie gets the touch. Wow, well, that was tight, wasn't it? Really tight, but Gussie just flew back. Delighted to see. That's the reaction I've been looking for. I've been chatting about it all week, and we haven't had too many smiles. That's beautiful. That's exactly what we want, isn't it? Well done.
Well, we've had to wait till the last day. That's the widest smile I think we've seen all week.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Fantastic.
Paul, I feel better. I really do. Heat 6 of the women's 100 metres breaststroke. Georgia Gussie flew back from Plymouth Leander. Well, she can go quicker as well, you know. She goes a little bit earlier. That was a great swim. Jasmine Carter as well swam well. Mount Kelly is Amelia Riggett.
2 different tactics there in that 100. Jasmine Carter took it out and hung on. And Gussie just came back in the final stages to take that one.
Well, talking about getting out quick, Imogen Clark in lane number 4. This is going to be interesting. The British record holder on the 50 metres breaststroke. She is so fast. She really is. She has great speed. Can she bring it home? Expected to be out quick to the 50. Imogen Clark in 4 with Mabry Collier in lane 3. Mabry Collier, a great junior, went to Ontario with the British junior team back in December, swam well there, done a consideration time on the 200 metres breaststroke, but this must be all about Imogen Clark down this first 50. She's so quick. Look at this. Beautiful stroke, nice high recovery, diving into the stroke. quick turnover. Going with her is Anna Morgan, though, of Edinburgh University.
Yeah, as we expected, Imogen Clark with that very fast turnover, that very fast 50-metre sprint speed. And the question always been for Imogen against the 100 breaststrokers, can she hold on? Good turn though. And Anna Morgan, well, Anna Morgan, saw her swim a little bit earlier. And she's now, this is the challenge for her, trying to come back on Imogen Clark. 2 more heats to come after this one. So these top 2 look at the moment as if they're going to be safely into that top 8. But they would like to finish ahead of one another just to make doubly sure, I think.
Well, 10 metres to go, and Imogen Clark is holding on. She went out quickly. She looks good still. Anna Morgan going with her from University of Edinburgh, and this is the first of the cycle seeded heats, and it's won in a 68.8. Well, that'll certainly get her through to the final this evening. And again, one job, and it sounds very simple. It's easy to say. Not sure about easy to do, but one simple job: get through to the final. That's better, isn't it? She's given a little bit of puff, a little bit of air, also nice and smiley. Good swim. Imogen Clark wins heat 7 of the women's 100 metres breaststroke, the first of those cycle seeded heats. Morgan second, Hardy third. The first 2 under 110. So it looks like under 110 you're going to have a chance of making the final of this women's 100 breaststroke. I've got to say, I think there might be a little bit of an attack on the British record here. It is still, I think, Molly Renshaw's British record at 66.2. But I wouldn't be too surprised if certainly swimmer wide in the centre, maybe others as well. But Angred Evans of the University of Stirling, she was great through the 100 on the 200 earlier this week. She swam really quick at the Edinburgh meet 4 weeks ago. There she is, right in the centre. Fastest seed in lane 4. And this is the second last heat of the women's 100 breaststroke, with Schlossen in 5 and the youngster Theodora Taylor, great swimmer, she is in 3. Super prospect is Theodora Taylor. She's done consideration times for the European Juniors on the 200 medley, the 200 breast, of 53. Gracious me. Now, Angred Evans, first time I have to say that I've seen her full bore at a trials, and she looks very good down this first 30 metres or so. She's really going for it. I wonder whether she's having a crack at the British record here, you know.
Well, I was there in Edinburgh when she swam against Cara Hanlon, and it was a real head-to-head between Angharad Evans and Cara Hanlon, and you almost felt for Cara Hanlon because she swam really, really well, but she was overshadowed by just a phenomenal swim from Angharad Evans, and she has gone out really fast. Everyone else in a row, but Angharad Evans away and clear water between herself and the rest of the field.
Well, she's got 25 to go. She can break the British record here, you know. 66.21. That 30.8 at the 50 was very fast. Goodness me, she's about 4 metres ahead of the rest of the field, and she's trying to swim away still. There's no turning the gas off here. Angred Evans might break the British record here on the women's 100 breaststroke. 66.2, 66.27. Oh, just outside the British record. 66.21. It's the British record. She's just gone 66.27. 6/100ths of a second. Molly Renshaw still the British record holder. I wonder for how many hours, though. My word, Paul, that was awesome.
That was fantastic, absolutely. She went 66.25 a few weeks ago, and that, if that result is confirmed, we're not getting the graphic here, it should be on our system. It looks like it is 66.27, and that is inside the nomination time. She's got to do it in the final, of course. And she has dipped under that nomination time by, I think, 4/100s, Andy.
Well, that was a cracking swim, wasn't it? She just kept on going. Some of the swimmers here at this Aquatics GB Swimming Championships 2024, they've been going out quite quickly and then just testing that first 100 and then just slowing down a little bit, saving a little bit of energy for the finals, but not there.
Take your marks.
So the final heat of the women's 100 metres breaststroke, it's heat 9, and Cara Hanlon has just watched an amazing swim from Angred Evans. First time any female in Britain's gone under the consideration time for the Olympics. She's got to do it in the final, though. She has to do it in the final. So doing it this morning is great, but she's got to do it in the final if she's going to be selected for that Olympic team. And Cara Hanlon right in the centre, started off very well, going well with her as well as Sienna Robinson of Loughborough.
Yeah, Cara Hanlon's been a swimmer over the last couple of years, really progressing through the ranks. She's, well, ranked first in GB in the 200 breaststroke as well. Won that 200 title outside the nomination time a few days ago. This is a big chance for Cara Hanlon to try and dip under that time. Well, she's reacting well to the time she's just seen from Angharad Evans, looking like she's controlling this one. Robinson just in second, and Lily Booker going well in lane 3 as well.
Well, 10 metres to go in this, the final heat of the women's 100 metres breaststroke. British record 66.2. It's going to be close, you know. Wow, 67.1. Well, that's some really fast heats of the women's breaststroke. I think that's the fastest we've seen in Britain. It must be pretty much ever as a set of heats. That's a great swim, Cara Hanlon. Goodness me, she looks like she's just had a little walk in the park, seen a couple of friends, give her a wave. She's just gone 67.1 for a heat 100 metres breaststroke. Cara Hanlon wins it. Second is Sienna Robinson. Third, Lily Booker. And Lily Booker's time 69.3, so she'll be in the final as well. So Hanlon's in, Robinson's in, Booker's in. Gillian Davey will have to wait and see. She's training actually with the Olympic champion. There's a set of swimmers over there in Indiana. Lily King she's training with. Let's see if we can see the confirmation of the finalists, hopefully coming up fairly shortly. So here we go. Well, I'm not sure that's not quite right, is it? Because I don't think Angharad Evans was top of that tree. So unless she was disqualified, which I really don't think she was. We're just I think we're missing one heater result. So we'll give you that. We'll give you that in a few minutes. No worry, as they were saying in your neck of the woods. Is that right?
Maybe in Katie's neck of the woods.
Yeah, well, that's true.
That's a West Coaster.
Oh, is it? It's a West Coast accent.
Yeah.
Really?
Katie's a Glaswegian, I think, originally.
Is she? What's the difference between a nay worry from the West Coast and a nay worry from the East Coast? Go on then. Give
it's
us
more of a West Coast thing, I would say.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
What do you say in the East Coast? Wait.
I better not say anything.
Be so careful, haven't I? So careful. Don't go there.
You were outnumbered a little while ago. You're not anymore. You're on safer ground now.
I tell you what, there's an awful lot of them on the British team. Sterling's doing fantastically well. They really are. Just having a look at the moment at that summary, just to see if we can give you the summary of that last heat. But the next race up is another para event. Paul, it's the women's 100 metres breaststroke, and that should be a cracker as well, shouldn't it?
Yeah, we've got some people that have waited all week for this breaststroke. And well, I think we can now go to John Mason at the studio.
I tell you what, I'm down here with Angharad Evans. Angharad, a fantastic heat swim for you. I know 0.06 off a British record, and that nomination time in the heats. Was that what you were expecting?
I was wanting to go fast. I think having my main event at the end of the week, the anticipation's been building, so the nerves, the excitement. So I just wanted to put in a good heat swim today, but not kind of overwork the last 20 meters. So faster than I thought, but yeah.
Some left for tonight.
Yeah, very excited for tonight and see if I maybe can get that record. If not, yeah, we'll see.
Well, look, there's a lot up to play as well. We've got the individual event and also place on that medley relay as well. Are those things playing into your mind?
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of been my focus in training, but not putting too much pressure on that. I feel like if that happens, it happens. If it doesn't, yeah, so.
Well, look, no pressure, but I would love to see a British record for you. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
See you tonight.
Thank you.
Well, that was Angharad Evans. Didn't she swim well? Look at that, right on the top of the tree, just outside of that British record. That's Molly Renshaw's for the moment. Molly Renshaw will join us for the final this evening. It would be great to commentate on her breaking the records. Hanlon second, Clark third, fourth is Robinson. And all of them under 69, 66.2. Goodness me. Just outside of that British record. 6/100ths of a second. Gillian Davey in 11th, so she'll be in the B final tonight. Top 16 go in the B final. Equal 14th, you can see there. And then there's the junior final as well. So lots of opportunities to get through into an evening swim. And Paul, it's such an important thing, isn't it, to give yourself the best chance, do lifetime best, and try and get through into one of those opportunities to swim again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you've got to be in that final. You've got to be in it to win it, as they say. And we've seen some people that have swum well in the heats, you know, just beginning to, able to back that up in the finals mostly. We haven't seen many people that haven't qualified in the top 2 or 3 in the heats do something in the final from the outside lane. So it tends to be the people that perform well in the qualification heats that have actually translated that through into the finals and to do these nomination times. So it's important to be there. It's important to be right in the mix. That's the final. Swimmers' results from that 100 breaststroke. 100 breaststroke multi-classification now in. Again, we have had some nomination times achieved by a number of para swimmers, but good chances for a few swimmers to achieve those times today. There's the lineup for this one. Grace Harvey goes in the middle in lane number 4. These para heats are seeded fastest over at the far side, the top of the picture, as you'll see, down to, sorry, the slowest at the far side in terms of time, the fastest nearest to us, and that's Maisie Summers-Newton, who is fastest, the Paralympic champion, European record holder in this one at 1:31.34. Her Northampton teammate Eliza Humphrey is next to her. Oh, I think there's a little bit of a delay. A few glitches this morning, whether it be with the scoreboard or with the starts. It's been really good all week. We had a few issues with the lane ropes a few days ago, but everything seems to have settled down. A little bit of a noise in the arena I'm hearing, so that's why they've delayed the start. So there's Fern Snedden going from the sit start is Amanda Redhead. Lily Rice also going from the sit start. Grace Harvey standing but supported by the coaches. Grace Harvey would be the one probably to watch out for here, as well as Maisie Summers-Newton and Iona Winifred as well, with that yellow cap. The young 12-year-old Iona Winifred, not 13 until next week. So we've got 3 British record holders here: Grace Harvey, Iona Winifred and Maisie Summers-Newton. Maisie also the European record holder and the Paralympic champion. So that's Maisie, who goes in lane number 7. That's British record, European record at 1:31.34. Maisie, one of the stars of the GB para team. Next to her, Eliza Humphrey, who's got nomination time under her belt in the 400 free. Iona Winifred going well, the young 12-year-old. She's been a real revelation, Iona Winifred. Swims in the SB7 class. So she has a form of dwarfism, same as Maisie Summers-Newton. A little bit taller, so she swims in the SB7, 1 class up from Maisie. Iona Winifred's got a chance of making that nomination time. The nomination time for her, 1:34.85. Grace Harvey as well, 1 lane up from Iona. Also looking to dip under her time at 1:49.01. So here's Maisie now into the closing stages. What a real star she's been. Inspired by the great Ellie Simmons, of course, who was so successful in this pool in 2012. And Maisie Summers-Newton, it's going to be a great time here. Big points total, 9.57. Iona Winifred, 1:35.97, just outside the nomination time for Iona. But 869 points, that will be an excellent performance, should get her into the final. Maisie gives us a wave there as Grace Harvey comes in, the world champion in 2022, and 1:43.83 will be good enough for a nomination time for Grace Harvey. Well, we saw Grace Harvey in the very first race of these championships, and she's had to wait until day number 6 to achieve that nomination time. But if that result is confirmed, Grace Harvey will be added to the list of nominated times. There we go, Maisie Summers-Newton, the Paralympic champion, 9.57, takes that one. Grace Harvey, a nomination time for her. She will be relieved with that swim, 1:43.83. And Iona Winifred, well, another great swim from the 12-year-old. She only has to drop less than a second in the final tonight if she is going to achieve that qualification standard, that nomination time. So Excellent stuff from the 12-year-old. She has really performed well in recent times. Coming through the ranks last year. Did a junior event in Coventry last summer. And they had a raffle. Like Manchester hosted the World Championships in the summer. Iona Winifred's mum won the raffle. And Iona Winifred came to the World Championships as a guest. So it's fantastic to see her there, and she really enjoyed herself meeting the likes of Ellie Simmons and Maisie Summers-Newton. Heat 2 of 2 though on this 100 breaststroke. A lot of S14s in this one. The S14 swimmers have been incredibly quick, especially the likes of Poppy Maskell and Olivia Newman-Baronius. There she is, the world record holder last night in the 100 butterfly. Brock Whiston, though, is the world record holder in this SB8 classification in breaststroke. Watch out for her. Louise Fiddis, 1 lane down from her, is also a world champion back here in 2019. And Rebecca Redfern, well, she is the world champion in the SB13 class. And Rebecca Redfern is someone, again, like Grace Harvey, very successful, but had to wait till the very last day until she achieved that qualification standard. Let's hope it's now for Rebecca Redfern. Her standard she's got to achieve is 1:19.41. So Fiddis and Redfern, they go over together. Watch out for Scarlett Humphrey right at the top there. Come back to Scarlett. She's a British record holder, 1:29.27, so a little bit behind the swimmers here, but for her classification, we'll see how they go. So, Louise Fiddis and Rebecca Redfern, 2 GB teammates. There's Scarlett Humphrey, S11 swimmer wearing blacked out goggles, little or no vision for Scarlett Humphrey. Louise Fiddis has had a good week, you have to say, and she's maybe stretching ahead of Rebecca Redfern, although as they level out, not much in it. Redfern, the world champion, in with Fiddis. It's very close, look at that, 1/100 separating them, but that will be good enough for both of them to achieve a nomination time. Brock Whiston, the world record holder, in 1:22.40, another nomination time for her. And Scarlett Humphrey, well, 1:32 for Scarlett, just outside her own British record. So, well, we saw Grace Harvey in Heat 1, had to wait till the final day for her big event to try and achieve that nomination time, and it's exactly the same for Rebecca Redfern. She has done that, 901 points for Rebecca, and that should safely get her into the final, and job done for the world champion in the visually impaired SB13 classification. Louise Fiddis as well inside that standard, and there, well, Scarlett Humphrey, what a great week the Humphrey sisters have had. Nomination times achieved for both of them. And Brock Whiston, the world record holder, no surprise to see her right at the top. 912 points for Brock. Another nomination time achieved for her. She's had an excellent championship. Rebecca Redfern in second and Louise Fiddis both under the nomination times. And Poppy Maskell in fourth in terms of points. Should all progress to the final. There we are, 750 points to make that final. Got Maisie at the top, Brock Whiston, Grace Harvey, Rebecca Redfern, Iona Winifred, Louise Fiddis. What strength that the GB para swimmers have in 100 breaststroke right across the classes. Look at that. Class 6, 8, 7, 14s, 11s, fantastic. And we can now go John Mason in the studio.
Well, she's Paralympic medalist, world champion, Commonwealth medalist, European medalist, every medalist in this event. And she's feeling a lot of pressure this morning. But Grace, you hit the time. That was a great swim. I know the nerves were there, but you got in there and did the job.
Yeah, definitely. I felt so nervous going into that race, but it came down to, this is just 2 lengths breaststroke. You know, it was all about the process, just setting the stroke up, and I'm so happy that it paid off with under the qualifying time and a season's best.
Yeah, it was an amazing swim for this morning. Obviously looking at moving that on tonight, just trusting that process.
Yeah, definitely. I want to look at the race report and see what areas I can tweak. I thought the start was really good. Spent a lot of time working on that dive, but I feel like I've got a little bit more in the back end, so I kind of want to see if I can deliver that tonight.
I mean, it's the end of a long week. You've had a big program. How's the body feeling? Last day?
I'm a little bit tired, but I'm trying not to think about it. I feel like, you know, when you're in the middle of that competition, you are going to be tired. It's about focusing on the things that you can control, like eating right, getting some sleep in, and then just coming out tonight, feeling the crowd, because it's been such a great crowd at every heat and final session, hoping I can thrive off that to deliver another good performance.
Well, I hope you can as well. Look, good luck tonight. Go smash it.
Wow, she's a good talker, isn't she? Gracious me, that's quite amazing. Right, so well done her. Excellent, looking forward to that swim tonight. Next event is the women's 100 metres freestyle. There's 9 heats. There's 4 swimmers in this first heat. And then they'll fill up the rest of the heats with all the rest of the swimmers. Full 10 lanes being used after this first heat of the women's 100 freestyle.
Take your marks.
The fastest seed is Bethan Cook of City of Birmingham in this heat 1 of 9 heats of the women's 100 metres freestyle. Probably the best start coming from Annalise Benyon of City of Cardiff. Well, talking about superstars and brilliant freestyle swimmers, this is the women's 100 freestyle. I'm being joined by an absolute cracking superstar. 4 times Olympian, world short course champion 200 freestyle, 13 Commonwealth Games medals. How many golds?
4 golds.
4 golds. It's not too bad, Karen Pickering. Lovely to have you join us in the commentary box. And this is your event, the 100 metres freestyle.
It is, yes, and it's a quite a tight race actually between Bethan Cook and Amy Hempenstall. Going well in the early stages, looking to do best times here at these British Championships. A great opportunity for them to race in this pool.
So Amy Hempenstall of Elmbridge Phoenix looks like she might get the touch. Great second 50 from her, 58.0. Well, her entry time and her lifetime best was 58.5. It's just, well, I know you've been watching, Karen, but it's just every single heat, isn't it? It's lifetime best by a second, half a second, 2 seconds. We had a 5-second one this morning on the 200 backstroke.
Yeah, it's so important for these swimmers. These are the ones you want to see improving. And good swim there for Amy Hempenstall, 58.08 there in the first heat. And these are the swimmers that we need to see the improvement. These are our future. These are the youngsters coming through. In these early heats is when we'll see the work that's done at the clubs all around the country and how they're represented here at these championships.
And speaking of work done at clubs, we'll talk about that in a second, because you brought your club up the other day, your college. We'll hear about it in a second. Sophie Benn of Mount Kelly is the fastest seed in this second heat of the women's 100 free, with Hannah Hodgkiss of Repton in 5. All 10 lanes being used in this second heat of the women's 100 free. The European Junior consideration time is 56.7. That's a little bit quicker than these swimmers at the moment, but plenty of juniors able to do it. So this is heat 2 of the women's 100 metres freestyle. Sophie Benn, the fastest seed in lane number 4. Good start. Right closest to us, though, is Nicole Dupree of Millfield School.
Yeah, great start from her. Millfield, obviously a very strong team. Always have a good group of youngsters coming through at the school there, preparing the swimmers. Often they move on to the universities. You see them popping up in Loughborough and Bath, but a real great history of swimming at Millfield.
Well, it is. There's some cracking schools, isn't there? Millfield, Mount Kelly, Repton, Royal Wolverhampton School, Ardingly College we'll come to in a second, Karen. They've got a great head of swimming.
Yeah, superb head of swimming there.
One K Pickering. Well, this is heat 2 of the women's 100 metres freestyle. It looks like in 3 it's Annabelle Quinn of City of Milton Keynes. Just about ahead, is she? I mean, it's really tight in 5. It's Hannah Hodgkiss of Repton. These two, who's going to get the touch? Hodgkiss gets it from Quinn in second. Third was Harris. It's very close indeed. That was just 9/100ths of a second splitting first and second. Hannah Hodgkiss wins it from Repton. Second was Annabelle Quinn of City of Milton Keynes. Third was Hallie Harris of Poole. Really close. Look at that, Karen. 58.24, 58.33, first and second.
Yeah, great depth throughout that heat as well. More best times coming from the swimmers. So, you know, they've swum all year to qualify for these championships, and to come out and go even faster in the morning. We know it's never easy to swim in the morning, even albeit it's nearly lunchtime.
Well, we were talking to Drew Barrand earlier on, the chief exec of British Swimming. I was. It's great fun to have a chat with him, and he was talking about the social inclusion and trying to get as many swimmers involved at these championships and as many people to experience it and see it. I'd love to hear your experience, because you had a cracking experience yesterday, didn't you? We'll just get to that in a second. Heat 3 of the women's 100 metres freestyle. Evie Doherty of City of Sheffield, the fastest seed, with Ruth Fowler of Team
Take your
Bath
marks.
in 3. Anna Tyers in 5 of Derby. Done a consideration time for the European Juniors already on the 100 metres backstroke on night 2. Doesn't that seem a long time ago? But this is third heat of the women's 100 freestyle. Lane 5 started well.
Yeah, very close. The Derby XL swimmer had a good start, but really is a blanket across all 8 swimmers at the pool, in the pool at the moment. See, some of the guys will take the race out a little bit harder, the sprinters, and the 200 specialists will try and chase them down in the closing stages.
Gracious me, 13/100 of a second, splitting the top 4 in this, the third heat of 9 of women's 100 freestyle. They're already getting quick, you know. This is very close indeed. And, well, we got closer to us here. Look at this. Jessica Hum of Rushmore Royals is swimming well. She's had a good meet too. Her coach, Matt Smart, had a really good week. So she's going to win it down here in lane number 8. And Jessica Hum, 57.9. Well, that's a good swim from her. 57.9 wins it. 58.2 was second. That was Grace Greenhalgh with third. Rebecca Simpson from Ealing.
The super swim there from her, breaking the 58 seconds again, 57.91, just outside her personal best time. But to go on to 58, it's always a solid swim and only 18 years of age. But that really was showing the depth that we have across all the teams. I love seeing the likes of Rushmore Royals. I remember racing against them in the southern counties, and they were a team that always were producing swimmers. So to see that those clubs are still able to get swimmers out there, it's harder than ever to get pool time for some of the small clubs and to keep producing quality swimmers. But this is the opportunity. You can really see they might have one swimmer here, but they're represented.
Well, Jessica Hum swam really well. Won it by what, 0.39 or something like that. Something like that. Maths has failed me anyway. It was a great swim, whatever it was. So the next heat is heat 4 of 9 of this women's 100 freestyle. Alexandra Bullat of City of Lincoln Pentaqua is the fastest seed in 4. Wood in 3 for Leeds. Catherine Renfrew of Perth City in 2.
Take your marks.
So heat 4 of 9, 56.7 is the European junior consideration time, and still many juniors in these heats. There is only one consideration time to qualify for this trials, for this GB Aquatics GB Swimming Championships. It's just one. It's not seniors or juniors. It's just it. So there's so many juniors qualified. It's great to see.
Yeah, it really is, and particularly, you know, there's a lot of the girls that develop earlier, so for them to be able to qualify for senior times is a little bit more expected than some of the boys, but we're still seeing a lot of the younger guys coming through.
Well, Hannah Woodcock right at the top there. She's gone up very quickly. Can she hold on? Unless she can, this is going to be a super swim from her. Woodcock of Swansea University right at the top. She's still going well. She's breathing away from the rest of the field, concentrating what she's doing, still driving her legs really well. Catherine Renfrew of Perth City come well in 2. Who's going to get the touch? I think it may well be Hannah Woodcock. She's held on really well. Woodcock did hold on well and perfectly well from Catherine Renfrew of Perth City in 2nd. 3rd was Scarlett Orchard of Loughborough University, but 57.4 for the winner, a new lifetime best for her. That's every single time, isn't it? Amazing.
She looked happy with that as well. Big smile on her face at the end of that race. Really slow turnover for a 100 freestyle straight, but very efficient. Got the job done.
A confirmation of the result of that 4th heat of women's 100 free is Hannah Woodcock wins it 57.4, and 4 57s with Renfrew, Orchard and Wood all going under 58 seconds. Wow. A couple of withdrawals from this next heat. Lane 4, Candice Hall has withdrawn from City of Sheffield, and Harriet Jones also in lane 7. So couple of spare lanes, but this heat 5. Wow, we're getting through so quickly, aren't we?
Yeah, they're not hanging around. They've got 9 heats to get through. Fantastic to see so many swimmers qualifying, isn't it?
It really is. So look at lane 9. Lane 9, yeah, Molly Baker from right at the bottom there, City of Sheffield. She's on the endurance initiative of Aquatics GB. And usually really good from 100 to 1500. All the way through, all the different events. That's Molly Baker closest to us. And, well, the distance guys, they don't always focus on the speed element of it. But if you think about Katie Ledecky, who's just utterly superb, 800, 1500 world record, her 100 frees, 52.
Yeah, I mean, once upon a time, the distance swimmers were completely different animals, weren't they? And then it really changed in the men's event with the Australians, and Grant Hackett just shook up men's distance freestyle swimming because his ability to take the race out so hard and just then rest while everyone else tried to catch up. And Katie Ledecky has that same ability in the women's race, and it's really changed distance swimming.
Well, it really has, and I think that's why the Aquatics GB have put this endurance initiative together, not only to focus on the distance, but also to make sure that they keep on putting the sprint stuff in there as well. And with about 10 minutes to go in this Heat 5, Darcy Revitt of Guildford's going very well. Also right at the top there in 0 and 1, Imogen Mears and Isabella Acaro. Who's got the touch? Revitt just gets it, 56.7. Wow, 56.7 for Revitt. And then in, I think lane 0 was second, Imogen Mears, 56.8. And third, Isabella Caro, 57.0. So it's getting fast very quickly. 56.8. Hello.
Yeah, that's a big swim there from her 56.78 Guildford City. They've produced some talented swimmers, a massive club, and great to see the youngsters coming through.
Thank you, swimmers.
So that was Heat 5. Heat 6 of 8. Oh, Heat 6 of 9, I should say. So this is the last of the uncycle seeded heats, and then they mix up all the fastest 30 swimmers amongst those final heats. It's just a little bit of a hold for the start list. Here it comes. So Heat 6 of 9. Fastest seed is Amy West of Stockport, right in the centre with Clementine Lovell of Loughborough University. Her uncle sent me a message the other day, Austin Swain, said how proud he was of Clementine up there in lane 3. So Heat 6, Amy West of Stockport in 4. 3 is Clementine Lovell. 5, Mia Slevin, she's quick. Lucy Grieve in 6 had a fantastic 100 metres butterfly last night. I think she was 3rd in the 100 fly, but swam really well. May even have got 2nd. I think she was 3rd, but some super swimmers in this last of the unseeded heats.
Yeah, big mention to Hannah Capron, the 15-year-old, now swimming for Repton, was formerly in Sussex. She actually broke my age group record, the final record that I held for Sussex last year. It stood for 37 years, so it was about time she smashed it. So a great talent coming through. She is just 15.
That's extraordinary. Well, Karen Pickering, you went on to become world short course champion 200 metres freestyle. So, gosh, she's right on it, ready to go, isn't she? It's exciting for her.
Yeah, it really is. And she's moved to Repton, which is sort of a new swimming school. They're really building their numbers there. So I hope she goes from strength to strength.
Indeed. Well, Clementine Lovell, I was bigging her up at the start, and look at this. She's doing really well. Can she go under a lifetime best of 57.0? Of course she can. 56.3. Goodness me. 0.7 of a second inside of her lifetime best. A great swim to win Heat 6 of the women's 100 metres freestyle. Clementine Lovell wins it. Second was in lane number 6, the fly specialist Lucy Grieve. She had a really stunning 100 fly. All her 2 sisters came down for Scotland, and Mum was there to watch, I know that. Libby Broder was 3rd, 57.2, but 56.3. Wow.
She just stepped that up a whole level, hasn't she, there? The next few heats we'll be looking at those times.
So Heat 7, here we go. The fastest 30 swimmers in Great Britain. 3rd fastest seed in Britain is Lucy Hope. She's already on the train. She's booked a ticket. She was on the top 4 in that women's 200 metres freestyle on the first night. I had a quick chat with her yesterday, and I said it must have been great just to get that out of the way. But look at this field, Karen. In 3, we've got Erin Little of Mount Kelly. She's swum really well this week. Hope's on the Olympic team. Freya Colbert, world champion 400 medley. She's in lane 5. She's won the 200 free. She's won the 400 medley. 2nd on the 2 IM. What a heat this is.
Take your marks.
Yeah, and I do love watching Freya Colbert swim. I mean, she's getting greedy with the amount of races that she's trying to do and relays she's wanting to get on. But she's one of the swimmers over the last 12 months, 2 years that I've looked at and just thought there's something quite special about her. And winning the World Championships, albeit a paired down World Championships earlier this year, just showed that she can deliver under pressure. So a really exciting swimmer. But Lucy Hope, the freestyle, the 100 freestyle specialist in this field, has had a great start.
Well, she has, as has Erin Little, a Mount Kelly swimmer. And goodness me, she really flew down that first 50. Hope had the slightly better turn from Sterling in the black hat. This is a great swim from Little. If she keeps this up, she could make the big final. Also now coming through is the red hat of Freya Colbert from Loughborough Performance. And Dave Hemmings had a great meet this week. But who's going to get the touch? It looks like it's going to be Hope. Hope gets it from Freya Colbert second. Third was Barnes. Fourth, it looked like was Jemima Hall, with Erin Little just fading a tiny bit at the end. She went out so quick. The commitment was excellent, but no doubt about the winner. 55.40, Lucy Hope, so she'll be in the final. 55.44, just 4 100ths back was Freya Colbert. So close.
Yeah, and I mean, these girls, they just cannot afford to mess up. There's 8 spots in the final, no semi-finals, straight through. So the pressure that they have in these heats it's great. It's great preparation for them for a major championship, and you know, they'll know, as they're sort of, these guys obviously have had heats before to watch, but 55.40, that is now the time for them to beat from Lucy Hope in the first of the cycle seeded heats.
So Hope wins it with Colbert second in that, the first of the cycle seeded heats. This is the second one. Anna Hopkin, she's on the train as well. She's going to Paris, won the 50 freestyle and under the consideration time. Looked really good in that 53. She's so powerful. Eva Caro in 3. Holly Widows has had a great meet in 2. There's Hopkin. Her dive is something special. She really is good off the wall. Sky Carter's in 6, Hindley's in 7. This is a heck of a heat. Theodora Taylor in 1. A Welsh junior, she's fabulous.
Take your marks.
So the second last heat in the women's 100 metres freestyle. Anna Hopkin right in the centre is the real class sprinter of this field. Won the 50 metres freestyle, in doing so underneath the consideration time. She's on the train to Paris.
Yeah, and one of the swimmers to watch, Eva Caro, was so superb in the 50 freestyle, the 18-year-old. I'd love to see her making it through on the relay, getting the opportunity to swim at Olympic Games, because she is a real special junior to watch.
Well, Anna Hopkin in lane 4 is leading by about 1.5 metres at the moment from Eva Caro. Great to see her, both of them in the final. It surely will happen, but Anna Hopkin, when she anchored that mixed medley relay to Olympic gold and world record out in Tokyo 3 years ago, I mean, what a swim that was. 52 flat she split on that relay. That was just astonishingly brilliant. She's going to win this by quite a way. The time's quick too, 53.6. Well, that's a very good heat swim from Hopkin. Hopkin wins it. Okara's second, 54.6. Well, as in 54.60 is a lifetime best by 4 100ths of a second in the heat, Eva Caro. And I would imagine there's a lot more left. This is fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah, it would have been quite confusing for her, because I bet she thought she's quite a long way behind Anna Hopkin, that perhaps her time wasn't going to be so good. But 53.6 for Anna in the heat. She was absolutely laying it down, no mistakes. 53.68 for her.
So Hopkin wins it, Okaro second, Hindley third, and 53.6 is quick. So the final heat of the women's 100 metres freestyle, Freya Anderson. Well, she's been in the commentary box here early in the week. She's still recovering from glandular fever. She's the fastest seed in lane 4 next to Abby Wood, with Kate Clifton next to her. She's 90%, she says, 90% back. There's Freya with those Olympic rings on the back of her neck. 90% recovered, not quite 100 yet, but she's here and having a go on this 100 metres freestyle. This is fascinating.
Yeah, it's great for her to see where she is and just get a race under her belt.
Final heat of the women's 100 metres freestyle. Freya Anderson in 4. Abby Woods in 5. She's going for that 200 medley. Abby Wood's 200 medley last night, utterly brilliant. Lifetime best from her and underneath the consideration time. But let's see what these swimmers in the middle have got. A great start from Abby Wood in lane number 5, and Freya Anderson's going with her. Interesting this.
Yeah, she's got to keep herself in the mix. Obviously, she's strong on the second half, such a good 200 swimmer. You'd expect her to be a little bit rusty on the speed on the opening 50, but in second place is Anderson at the 50. But great start from Abby Wood, who really has been on superb form this week.
Abby Wood's technical stuff, the starts and the turns are brilliant. I know that Dave Hemming, as a coach, does an awful lot with his team, but, well, if she's only 80% to 90% there, this is pretty special, isn't it? Freya Anderson coming back on the second 50 of 100 metres when she's only 90% better. 55.0, still recovering from glandular fever. Wow, well, that's pretty good. The consideration time is 53.55, which is very fast. I think she's just going to use that as a little bit of a test event, but if the top 4 this evening all finish and their cumulative time is within the time that British Swimming is going to have set for the consideration for that relay, they all go. Top 4 will go. Anderson wins it, 55.0. Wood second, Clifton third. She could go if she does that again in the final, you know.
Yeah, if she does. I mean, it's been quite quick, quite a difference between them. You can see the top 4 swimmers there. She's third going through into that final. It just depends on how much that has taken out of her. When you've got glandular fever, when you're struggling and you haven't raced, it'll be interesting to see how she recovers and goes again in the final, because that's where it can be so tough for swimmers. That's why the swimmers do so much training. It's not for one race, it's for repeating races.
Well, it certainly is, and I should also remind you that the British selectors from Aquatics GB have got some discretionary picks for the Olympic team, and I think it's for people exactly like Freya Anderson, because she's so good. We just can't really do without her, to be honest. We need her on the team. She's got plenty of time still to complete that recovery. She believes she's 90% there. 55.0 at 90%. I've got to tell you, that's quite special. But we just need her on that team, and so I would imagine, even if she doesn't do it this evening, I'm not a selector, and I must make that clear, I would be very, very surprised if serious consideration is not given to her being added to that team.
I think you have to have her on the plane if there's any chance she's going to be fit enough to swim on the team. The difference she makes in a relay, you know, she's one of those swimmers that finds an extra gear when it comes to anchoring a team home, and we've seen that quite a few times.
Well, there's all the qualifiers, and well, she's now talking to John. This will be interesting. Freya Anderson with John.
Well, it's the first time we're seeing her in the pool, and it's on the final day. But Freya, your first time diving in, coming back, glandular fever has been a thing for you. It's been a rough sort of come back into here. So talk me through what's going through your mind. How was that?
I was just nervous. I had no idea what to expect. I've not done any sort of fast things in training. I can probably count on one hand how many sprints I've done in like the past 4 months. So it's just kind of nice to come in. You know, it's a nice crowd. It's an amazing arena. And just get that first swim out the way.
Yeah, and 55.01 is still, you know, it's a good swim, third fastest qualifier into tonight. Not knowing where you are or where you're going to be, is that a nice thing? You know, you're like, what will be, will be.
Yeah, I know. The thing I was more worried about this morning is how painful it would be. I would say it lived up to the expectations, but no, to get into that final amongst them girls is really good. Just fine if I can squeeze a bit more out tonight. It'd be nice.
We'll put on a show for us this last night. Good luck, okay? And well done.
Thank
you. Yeah, well done, Freya. Excellent swim there, recovering from glandular fever. Wow. Good to see her back. Well, hopefully she'll go well in the final as we move on to the multi-class 100 freestyle. And it's 4 heats of this one. Ellie Chalice goes in 3, Claire Connon in 4. That was Fern Snedden we saw there in lane 5. And Amanda Redhead going in 6. So 100 freestyle, multi-class. Ellie Chalice going from the block. She's the lowest numerical class, the S3 swimmer. We saw her achieve that nomination standard last night in the 50 metres backstroke. Claire Connon, she's a British record holder. She's not internationally classified, Claire Connon, so won't progress to the final. That's the top swimmer of those three swimmers, but she could have a crack at the British record, which she held, which she set just a short time ago in February. And Fern Snedden going well in the early stages. Again, Fern Snedden has been a junior swimmer. She's working her way through the ranks. She's only just 18, Fern Snedden. Great future in prospect, so let's hope she can improve her best time of 1:22.42. And Amanda Redhead, she swims in the S7 classification. Again, with a personal best of 1:18.78. So it's the first heat of the 4 heats. Fern Snedden stretching away. Keep an eye on the points though for Ellie Chalice, just at the very top corner of the picture there, the lowest numerical class, of course, in the para events. The times for the swimmers compared to the world best time in the previous 2 years. And if you hit that world best time, you get 1,000 points. So anything up towards the 700, 800, 900 range is an excellent swim. Here comes Fern though. Let's see if she can get close to that 1:22. She's right on the 1:22, just half a second outside her best time. 622 points. And Claire Connon, 1:42.13. Well, that was the British record, and look at that, 1:31 for Claire Connon. Well, and that could be a new British record for her. And here comes Ellie Chalice, the British record holder, in 1:41, and she's 1:46 today. Ellie Chalice, she achieved that standard last night. She won't be too worried about that 1:46 this morning, but Claire Connon, wow. Well, what a swim that was for the swimmer in the S4 class. Remember, S1 to 10, those are physical impairments, with S1 being the most impaired and S10 being the least impaired. So Claire Connon in the S4 classification, 640 points with 1:31.97. That's a massive British record there for Claire Connon, so she could be delighted with that one. Maybe again a prospect for the future, not internationally classified yet, but the GB team, well, I'll bet they'll be on the case to get her classified very soon. One to watch out for the future, Claire Connon. As we move on to the second of the 4 heats. There, Scarlett and Eliza Humphrey in this one as well. Brock Whiston back in again in lane number 6. It's a tough shift for these swimmers. We just saw 100 breaststroke a short time ago. And a few of these swimmers doubling up this morning. Just waiting for the other swimmers to clear the water. So they've Claire Connon's thrown down the gauntlet with that British record swim in the S4 class. Ranger class is here. Susanna Hext right up the top. She is the world champion in the 50 freestyle from last year in the S5 class. Paralympic champion in the S5 class. In the 100 freestyle is Tully Kearney, 2 lanes down. Charlotte Hyde in between them. So again, we'll keep a look at the likes of the Humphreys sisters. We go in 4 and 7. Scarlett Humphrey, British record for the S11 class, stands at 1:10.62, held by Scarlett Humphrey. Evie Lambert leads them out. As with all the para heats, fastest swimmers closest to us, the slowest swimmers in terms of time furthest away, but of course not necessarily the swimmer who touches the wall first will get the highest number of points. So check for Tully Kearney in lane number 6, Paralympic champion, world record holder in this one as well. It's very close in the centre actually. Nice spread across the pool. The Humphrey sisters with Scarlett Humphrey just leading. 1:10.62 for Scarlett is the British record. But Evie Lambert, another one of these young swimmers we will keep track of going forward. Evie Lambert in the S9 class with that arm impairment. She's finishing on a good arm. Not quite the best of finishes for Evie Lambert, but 68.60, big improvement on the time. Big points total there for Scarlett Humphrey and Tully Kearney. Look at that, 115.39. And that will be the top points earner, 1,162. Well, I don't think we've seen a higher points total than that. 1,162 for Tully, the Paralympic champion. Of course, the points based on the times in the last 2 years, so it's not a world record for Tully or a British record, but wow, getting on towards that. Oh, maybe something special in the evening. World record 113.34 for Tully Kearney. She's a couple of seconds outside that. But look at that, 1,162 points for Tully in the S5 class. Well, she's had a good week. Tully Kearney, good backstroke yesterday. And a good 200 freestyle on day one to clinch that nomination time early. The Humphreys blacked out goggles will have to be checked before the result can be made official, but there's the points totals. And Tully Kearney with 2 heats still to come. Surely that's not going to be a total that's going to be beaten. Scarlett Humphrey, 112.29. Looks like she's not. Oh, in fact, no, Susanna Hext, 888, right at the top. 122.47 for Susanna Hext again. She clinched that qualification standard, or that nomination standard, right on day one in the 200 freestyle. As to the young swimmers waiting for that result to be confirmed. There's always a nervous wait for the results to be confirmed, but swimmers will know if there are S11s in the event. The blacked out goggles have to be checked, so they expect a little bit of a delay. Let's hope there's no disqualifications. I often see disqualifications in freestyle events, maybe false starts possibly. But I think we're okay. And Tully Kearney in there, 1,162 points. Well, I'd be surprised if that was beaten. Susanna Hext, Scarlett Humphrey, Brock Whiston, all in the 700 range. They'll be in good shape to make it through to the final. Could swim for Evie Lambert as well. Heat 3 of the 4 heats. It's quite a populated event, this one, in the multi-class events. That's good to see.
Take your marks.
This is classification system 1 to 10 with those with physical impairments, 11 to 13 those with visual impairments, and 14 those with intellectual impairments. So some 14 swimmers, S14 swimmers like Megan Neve closest to us, and Sienna Oxby one line up, and Abby Kane for University of Stirling. Well, just wonder if Abby Kane can get in ahead here of Rebecca Redfern in lane 6. That could be a little bit of a tussle. There's relay spots up for grabs here in the S14 classification, and also in the visually impaired relay, which Abby Kane, it's a Paralympic silver medalist back in 2016 as a 13-year-old Abby Kane. She's never quite managed to regain that form that she showed in those Rio Games in 2016. What a good start up the top for Astrid Carroll as well. She might have designs on this spot, this relay spot. Another S12 swimmer. And looks like maybe Abby Kane possibly might have this one. Alice Tye will be a big point score here in the centre, 895 points. Well, we've spoken a lot about Alice this week. She's coming back from their amputation, of course, and in 2022, and she is remarkable form here at these trials. She pulled out the final of the 100 butterfly last night to concentrate on this 100 freestyle, which will be a target event for Alice at the Paralympic Games, should she be selected. It would be a major shock if she wasn't selected, let's face it. 106.04 though for Alice. That might be a season's best, actually. We've got it listed as 106.07. Big smiles for Alice Tye to take that one. Just have a look at the visually impaired swimmers. Astrid Carroll had a good swim. She was just pipped by Abby Kane, and they were both ahead of Rebecca Redfern. So Alice, great swim from her, and a big point score, 895. Megan Willis, a 106.96, the young Commonwealth Games swimmer from Wales. in 726 points. That should be enough for the final, I think. With one heat to come, number of swimmers in this final heat. It's not a Paralympic event for the S14 class, so they can't progress to the final. So I think we're looking at somewhere around about the 600 point range for progressing to the final for those swimmers that are eligible. As I said, relay spots could be up for grabs though in the S14 classification. This is the one and only chance they've got to swim this 100 freestyle. So watch out for Poppy Maskell, closest to us. Jessica Jane Applegate, who's achieved the nomination time in the 200 freestyle, but she was 4th in her classification. So Jessica Jane, a little bit of pressure on Jessica Jane here, the Paralympic champion from 2012 in the 200 freestyle. Love for her to get in those top 2 spots in this 100 freestyle, give herself a chance of a relay spot. She is leading them through. Poppy Maskell and Olivia Newman-Baronius doing well. Louise Fiddis back in the water again. Tony Shaw and Amber Haycock at the top there. S9 and S10 swimmers respectively. But Poppy Maskell has really shown great form. A number of nomination times achieved for Poppy Maskell. Louise Fiddis going well in lane number 4 as well in the centre. But Poppy Maskell is going to be at the wall first here. Is Jessica Jane going to be second? I think she might be. Poppy Maskell gets in, and Jessica Jane in second, just over the 1 minute mark. Could that be an important touch for Jessica Jane Applegate with relay spots up for grabs in the S14 relay? Wow.
Thank you, swimmers. Please leave the pool by the
Giving
side.
the selectors something to think about. Poppy Maskell again, what form she's shown. Look at that, 58.75. Wasn't the best of the starts for Poppy Maskell, but great swim. 58.75, that's a lifetime best for her. So the S14s won't return for the final. So that may well prove to be almost a relay decider there. And Poppy Maskell and Jessica Jane Applegate, the top 2 spots, looking good. And there, the qualification there at the right-hand side. Swimmers who can't progress to the final and don't have the red marker there, but Tully Kiernan will lead the way, no surprise there. Alice Ty and Susie Hext. Tony Shaw will be in there with that 105.18 time. We'll see Scarlett Humphrey and Callie-Ann Warrington as well. And yeah, it was the 700 points that was able to secure a place in the final. Brock Whiston just getting in ahead of the others there in the 700 point range. Amber Haycock looks like the one might miss out on that one, the S10 swimmer from Northampton. But good to see such a populated multi-class event, the 100 freestyle. And there are the final. And we can go and have a word with John, who I think is with Alice Ty.
Down here on pool deck with Alice Ty. Now, Alice, we've seen you with such a busy program this week, but you pulled out of last night's final, obviously to focus on this event. Talk us through that strategy.
It was more of a strategy of I'm absolutely exhausted and need a rest. The 100 free isn't actually a Paris event for me, but you know, the 50 is, the 400 is. So I think focusing on freestyle right now is still quite an important thing. I've not been training for 400, not been training fly. So my coach was kind of just like, after I spoke to him after the interview earlier yesterday, and he was like, yep, that last 25, I saw you start it and I thought withdraw. So I was really grateful. I was sat at home in bed watching the finals and then got an early night. I've been traveling back and forth, which is really dumb. I live on the other side of London, so it's like an hour and a bit to get there, and I thought it would be fine, but I'm getting home at like 11:30 and then bed after 12. So that was a silly decision on my half, but yeah, dropping out, pulling out yesterday was a wise decision because I'm happy with the swim.
Yeah, it was a great swim this morning, and obviously those things. Next time, get a hotel closer.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We love it. Look, Have a fantastic week. It's been an amazing one for you as the finish of it. Your program's coming to an end. That must feel pretty nice.
Yeah, it's nice. Dave always says HOMETIME, home time, and that's like really engraved into the back of my head. I'm really ready to get back into training, maybe not Monday, Tuesday, but I'm excited to have like a day to myself, rest and recover fully. I don't know, I like bird watching, maybe go look at some birds. Yeah.
Well, enjoy that, a little bit of bird watching. Thanks so much. You put on a show for us this week. It's been amazing.
Goodness me, you don't hear too many swimmers going bird watching, do you? There we go. Well, this is the final able-bodied race of the morning. Still 2 events left. There's another para race still to come, but this is the men's 200 metres freestyle heats, and I think this is possibly the most anticipated event of the whole championships. This one. This should be an absolute cracker. In the final heats, we've got the Olympic champion, Olympic silver medalist, and world champion, 2 world champions.
Take your marks.
4 different swimmers, Olympic champion, Olympic silver, and 2 world champions. There's only 2 individual spots on the 200 metres freestyle. Can you imagine? One of these guys is not going to make it. World champion, Olympic champion, Olympic silver. 2 of those guys will not make the individual.
Making me nervous. I feel sick for them. You know, these swimmers, you just think, some of them have booked their places. Tom Dean, Duncan Scott, Matt Richards have already booked their places on the team. So part of you thinks, are they going to be a little bit relaxed? But no, because they want the 200 freestyle spot. Of course they do. So it's just as nerve-wracking.
And I can't think of another sport, Karen, in Great Britain where we've got so many quality swimmers in the same event. I mean, can you think of another sport where we've got Olympic gold and silver, and then different people, world champion and previous world champion?
No, I mean, I think the depth, and hence why the 4x200 freestyle relay, the rest of the world are looking at Great Britain, knowing that they are the team to beat.
Well, they certainly are here. Jamie Ingram is the fastest seed and has gone out really quickly down this first 125 metres of heat 1 of the men's 200 metres freestyle. He's in lane 4. 3 is Finley Clubb going with him. So the City of Manchester Aquatics swimmer, well, he's gone off very fast. He's just getting caught now. He's just about over first. Ingram in 4, but 6, Tucker, and 3, Clubb really attacking him.
Yeah, it's different pace for these swimmers. They've got to get it right. Going out too fast on a 200 freestyle is very, very painful in the closing stages, absolutely gulping the air in. But the different swimmers, depending on their specialties, have different tactics.
Well, it's very tight indeed. He's held on well as Jamie Ingram. He looked tired going into that last turn. Maybe in 6, Sam Tucker's going to get it. He does. 1:53.1 with a 1:53.3 second. Well, 1:53.1. New lifetime best for Sam Tucker, and a huge lifetime best for Ingram, 1:53.3. Great, look at that, great smile as well. Well, sort of a grimacy smile, trying to get some oxygen in. Karen, you know that feeling, 200 free.
Oh my goodness, yeah, you know. The results of heat 1 there, Samuel Tucker from Loughborough University, 1:53.10 super swim. But of course, yeah, the closing stages of a 200 freestyle are incredibly painful. I used to be carried out of the pool sometimes. You know, the legs just go, and if you pace it wrong, it's even worse.
Well, it seemed to work reasonably well for you. World short course champion, 200 metres freestyle, Kay Pickering. Pretty good, pretty good. So here we go, heat 2 of the men's 200 metres freestyle, and Llewellyn Porter's the fastest seed in lane number 4. George Snow in 2. He's one of 7 lads who's done the consideration time for the European juniors on 100 metres freestyle. None of it made it last year. No men made the consideration time for junior Europeans under 3 last year. 7 have done it this year. And the cut last year was 51 flat. It's 50.8 this year, and 7 lads have done it. I mean, such is the strength and depth at the moment of junior British swimming. It's amazing.
Yeah, and certainly in the events where you can look at getting medals in relays, it just breeds the next generation, because they're looking ahead knowing that they're not just going for individual spots. There's opportunities to be in a gold medal winning relay team, and I think that just ripples down through the juniors, and you can see the next generation coming through.
It's absolutely right. It's a great point, that, Karen. It's not surprising there's so many brilliant distance 200 metres freestylers in Britain. We are the defending Olympic champions on the men's 4x2 free relay. If you get in that squad, you've got a cracking chance of getting an Olympic gold medal. And that is just, it is the ultimate, it is the dream. Lane 6, Calvin Fry, Loughborough University wins it. Oh, excuse me, first to turn, wins it. First to turn. And it's a really good first 100. 53.5 from Fry, Goodman second, Adams third, Snow fourth.
Yeah, Calvin Fry, very good 100-metre swimmer. So using his speed to take the race on, and hopefully he hasn't gone out too fast. Jacob Goodman, also a good speed swimmer, good over the 50 and the 100. So both these swimmers, you sometimes have the 400 swimmers coming down to a 200. They're the ones who steam down the closing stages quite often. And but our best swimmers now, even the speed swimmers, they are very, very strong in the back half. It's the second half of the 200 that makes or breaks the races when we see at the major championships now.
So 15 metres to go, and he's having a cracking swim here. Calvin Fry really is. 152.8's his lifetime best. Well, he's going to be way inside that. Look at this. He's going to go close to 150. 149.9. No. Heat 2 of 8 of 200 metres freestyle. 149.9. Under 150, and it's heat 2. Oh, tell you, well, you can almost hear the adrenaline pumping through all the rest of the competitors in this event. There's still, 6 more heats to go. We've just had a 149.9 in heat 2. Calvin Fry, 149.90, wins heat 2 of the men's 200 free. Oh my goodness me, Goodman second, Snow third.
And he basically swam that race on his own, didn't he? He was just out for the first 100, and he wasn't challenged in the second 100. Just did that by himself like a time trial with a great crowd.
Karen, what's the rest of these guys thinking now? They're all lining up there going, I've just seen the 149, my best. The seed guys here, 154s, 153s?
I think there's definitely a what's going on. But maybe, if he can do it, I can do it. That's hopefully what they're thinking.
Ollie Rowe of Mount Kelly was closest to us in that shot a second ago. This heat 3 of 8 of the men's 200 free. Tom Truman of Derby is the fastest seed, with Brodie Gordon-Gibson second fastest in 5.
Take your marks.
There's 2 excellent juniors in the third heat of the men's 200 metres freestyle. In lane number 8, Gabrielle Shepherd was fastest junior 100 metres freestyle, the 16-year-old in lane 8, just one from the bottom there. He went 49.8 on the individual 100 metres freestyle for a 16-year-old. And then also right at the top in lane 0, Jacob Mills of Leicester, also a second fastest 100 metres freestyle. Very quick indeed.
Yeah, and it's the City of Leeds. Well, when we were swimming, they were a powerhouse club, weren't they? Had obviously Adrian Morehouse, the great City of Leeds swimmer. But they've got some good juniors coming through. We've seen Amelie Bloxage, of course, on the distance freestyle event. So they're still producing some top swimmers, and I do love seeing what the local clubs and what they can produce, and they're passing their swimmers on quite often to the universities and the performance centres.
Well, Leeds are having a cracking meet. Super turn there as well from lane 5. Brodie Gordon-Gibson of University of Edinburgh really used the underwater extremely well. And when you go to events like Olympics, World Championships, Commonwealth Games, Europeans, that is one of the areas I have to say you notice it's really stark that the underwaters are so good for the top guys in the world. At these trials, yes, there's quite a few people who are very good. People like Abby Wood or Joe Litchfield, really, really good. But watch this turn again, Karen.
Yeah, really making the most of that butterfly kick underwater. And I just don't think you can win an event at a major championship without having good skills off the start on the turn anymore. And for people who think it's just about what they do up and down a pool and aren't working every single turn and maximising every single turn in training, then you're missing an opportunity.
Well, you are. He's holding on well as Brodie Gordon-Gibson of Edinburgh University. He is holding on. Is he going to get the touch? Oh, it's very close. He did get it. 151.2 wins it. Henry Baker second. Third, closer to us, was the youngster who went 49.8 on his individual 100 metres freestyle. Gabrielle Shepherd of City of Leeds, who you're talking about. The 16-year-old went 151.9 for his 200. 151.9. His lifetime best was 154.1.
Yeah, there we see the results, and Brodie Gordon-Gibson there taking that heat 3, 151.27. Gabriel Shepherd third, superb best time.
Wow, we've already seen a 149 in heat 2, 151's there. So it's hotting up already. This is heat 4 of 8. We're getting to be halfway through nearly, the end of this one. And it is hotting up really quick. Fastest seed in lane number 4 is Cameron Travis. In this, the 4th heat of 8 of the men's 200 free.
Again, we see Chelsea and Westminster Swimming Club represented here in lane 5. Ariane Din. They've had a great meet. Look out for his skills, because their swimmers have very good starts and turns usually.
Take your marks.
The 4th heat of the men's 200 freestyle. Cameron Travis of University of Aberdeen Performance in 4 is the fastest seed. Probably the best start though, coming in lane 6. That's Angelo Gianni Contini of Newcastle. He's already done a consideration time for the Junior European Championships on the 100, but he was the 5th ranked junior on the 100. There's an awful lot of swimmers qualified already or done consideration times for the European Junior Championships. In fact, I can tell you there's 80 swims by 49 different swimmers. They can only choose 30, so they are going to go to the consideration times that have beaten, or the swims that have beaten the consideration times by the highest percentage. So it's really important not only to do a consideration time, but to knock it out of sight if you can. Beat it by the largest percentage you possibly can, because that will give you the best chance of being selected as one of up to 4 swimmers per event, maximum 4 swimmers per event.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, those swimmers on a Monday doing their qualifying time would probably have come out of the pool thinking, you know, I've qualified, not realising, you know, how many people are going to end up making the time through the rest of the week.
Well, 7 have done it on the men's 100 freestyle.
Unbelievable. And great start from lane 0, Stefan Kraviec of East Lothian, taking this race on in an outside lane. And the swimmers in the centre of the pool having to now start thinking about making up that deficit. It's looking very, very controlled, smooth stroke, quite slow turnover, but powerful arm pull.
Well, he's going really well at the top. Also coming back is Arthur Logan in 1 and Jack Munsey in 2. It's going to be a very tight finish between these 3 boys right at the top there. Kraviec of East Lothian, is he going to get it? Oh, he does just. 152.05. In fact, it's a tie. 152.05, tied in lanes 0 and 2. It's Kraviec and Jack Munsey of Stirling. So the 2 Scotsmen tying, Stefan Kraviec of East Lothian and Jack Munsey of Stirling, tying for first in this, the 4th heat of the men's 200 metres freestyle. Wow, what a finish. Charging at the end, there's 0, 1 and 2. So the 4th heat won by Stefan Kraviec of East Lothian, tied with Jack Munsey of Stirling. 3rd was Arthur Logan of Edinburgh University.
Yeah, all the action happening over one side of the pool. Guys in the middle not really seeing that danger.
Here's heat 5, fastest seed is Luke Hornsey. He goes in lane number 4. Henry Gray right at the top there from Chelsea Westminster. Bronze on the 200 fly.
Yeah, just 18 years of age, so another junior to keep an eye on.
David Annis in 1, also very good from the Royal Wolverhampton School. He's done the consideration times for European juniors on the 200 and 400 IM.
Take your marks.
So this is the 5th heat of the men's 200 metres freestyle, the last of the uncycle seeded heats, and right at the top there, Henry Gray, bronze medal on the 200 medley as a junior, 200 fly as a junior. Really brilliant. He's done the consideration time for junior Europeans, the 100 and 200 fly, the 100 freestyle, and this the 200 free. Can he do another one here?
Quite possibly, and Lisa Bates, the coach there, is doing exceptionally well with her squad of swimmers. And they've been impressive on the sprint events, right up to, like you say, the 200 fly.
And Karen, lots of people have come to these championships, and we were talking to Drew earlier, Drew Barrand, the chief exec of Aquatics GB about trying to get as many people in the pool as possible and really enjoying the experience. You had a great experience yesterday, quickly, didn't you?
Yeah, I got the school minibus and I brought 11 of the swim squad from Ardingly College up to watch the finals on Thursday, including my two 9-year-old twin daughters. And it was fantastic. They had a great time, went home buzzing. Got to see the men's 100 metres freestyle, and I had a swimmer next to me going, "That's actual Duncan Scott down there. That's actual Tom Dean." I was like, "Yep, that's actually them." And they just went back at, really buzzing from what they'd seen, what they'd been able to spot about the event, how the swimmers carried themselves, the skills. They had a brilliant time. I think the atmosphere's been fantastic, the presentation, everything.
Well, actual Duncan Scott and actual Matt Richards are in the next couple of heats, and it's going to be very, very exciting to see them, because this race, I've got to tell you, this event, men's 200 freestyle, is just nuts in this country at the moment. Look at this swim here. This is not one of the cycle-seeded heats. It's Luke Hornsey. His best is 1:51.8, and he's just miles ahead. 1:50.7, 1.1 second lifetime best from Luke Hornsey of University of Edinburgh. That is a fabulous swim from him, a full second inside his lifetime best. Very good indeed. Hornsey wins it. David Annis second, the youngster, and Henry Gray third. We talked about them already with this consideration times for the European juniors. Great swimming from those youngsters, and I've got to say, British junior swimming's in fabulous place at the moment. It really is.
Yeah, and it goes in cycles, of course it does, and but here we can see the juniors featuring Henry Gray third there, 1:52.84, with Luke Hornsey's super swim 1:50.71 to win heat 5.
So here they are. Here are the big boys. I've got to tell you, this is the most extraordinary domestic 200 metres freestyle event I've ever seen. In here, Duncan Scott. This is heat 6. Duncan Scott is in 4 with Joe Litchfield in 5. Duncan Scott's the Olympic silver medalist. In the next heat, we've got the Olympic champion, Tom Dean. He's not the fastest seed. He's in lane 4 in heat 7. In the final heat, we've got heat 8. We've got Matt Richards. He's world champion from 2003. James Guy's been world champion. Max Litchfield's on the train to Paris. Jacob Whittle may well be on that 4x100 free relay. It's just stacked. I've never seen anything like it, and this is what we've come for. This is it. This is the trial for the men's 4x2 free relay, in which Great Britain could repeat Olympic gold.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the depth and quality in this event is quite extraordinary, even more so than it was 4 years ago when they took the Olympic title.
Well, these guys have got to be very, very careful. There's one job to do, and it sounds simple. It's just make the final. There is Duncan Scott. The final heat is absolutely stacked, so these guys just must go quick. Wow. Heat 6, 200 free. Scott in 4. So the last 3 heats have got to top 30 in Britain, and they're cycle seeded, with Duncan Scott coming into this championships his 3rd fastest seed. He won the 200 medley, a very good swim that was. Looked really good on the 100 metres freestyle to get 2nd. So he's going to Tokyo, but this is the one that he wants. And I know this is one that all of them want. They want to be on this relay. And this first 50, well, Scott always looks good. I think he's changed the way he swims these. He's starting to attack it early.
Yeah, I think there's so many swimmers who finish the race strong. We've seen it at the Olympic Games, the World Championships, with the British boys finishing very, very strong. But if you're going to make a difference now, they have to have a little bit of speed as well. And Joe Litchfield came up with the dive ahead, but Duncan Scott has absolutely taken control.
Well, he looks really good, doesn't he, Duncan Scott? He's going to be first to turn, and he's first to turn by a decent amount, 51.7. Well, I think this is just, it has to be job done here. He's got to make sure that he goes through in a really decent lane in the final, because you don't want to be stuck on the outside in that final tonight with all those big boys in.
Well, yeah, you're not going to mess around in a heat this important. There's absolutely no way that they're not going to take this race on and make sure they make a final. There cannot be any mistakes, and Duncan Scott has not made a mistake this week.
Well, he looks very good indeed. The underwaters of Joe Litchfield. Watch the red hats. Look at that turn from Litchfield. Well, he won the 100 fly, and in doing so, the combined times of all the individual hundreds added up on all the strokes to qualify for the Olympics. So he's going that red hat. He's going to the Olympics for that 100 fly. He's chasing Scott. He's tried to hold on to his suit. Look at this. This is a great swim from Litchfield. Duncan Scott, 146, 147.1, 147.7 from Litchfield. Evan Jones, 149. Well, with this massive final heat still to come, there's 2 more heats, but that last heat is just loaded. You've got to do this. 147 in a heat in Great Britain, and you're not certain of getting through.
No, now they've got to sit and wait, because the last 2 heats have the benefit of seeing what's gone before them, which is always an advantage. So they absolutely have to lay down.
Well, he looks very calm and collected. He's so smooth. It's maybe a bad way of explaining. He just looks so comfortable before he starts.
I actually saw him at breakfast this morning, and he was so chilled. They're so relaxed. Quite a late breakfast, both him and Tom Dean, but they can turn it on. And he knew what he had to do this morning, and I feel there's still some more to come in the closing stages for him.
Wow, he turned off, didn't he? He turned the gas off in that last 15 metres or so. Wow. So the Olympic silver medalist on this 200 metres freestyle. Here we go, confirmation of the result of that heat 6 of 200 free. Olympic silver medalist does the job, 147.1, he'll be through. Litchfield, very good in second.
Yeah, well, they've set the standard now. 2 more heats to follow.
Heat 7, look at this. We've got the Olympic champion, Tom Dean. He's in lane number 4. He's not the fastest seed in this men's 200 free. He's the fastest seed in this heat 7, but there's another heat still to come, and Matt Richards is fastest seed in that. Can you believe we've got an Olympic champion who's not the fastest seed? There he is. Double Olympic champion Tom Dean. Won the 200 free, won the Olympic title 4x2 free relay. He's got the red hat in the centre with Jack McMillan in 5. Heat 7 of 8, 200 free. Olympic champion.
Take your marks.
So the second last heat of the men's 200 metres freestyle, the Olympic champion, double Olympic champion, won this, the 200 free, in Tokyo 3 years ago, also on that 4x2 free relay that he led off to Olympic gold. He was only 3rd on the 100 metres freestyle earlier this week, but he is on the train on that 4x100 free relay on the train to Tokyo. He's gone out pretty comfortably though. Look at this. First to turn is Jack McMillan in lane number 5 from Stirling.
Yeah, Jack McMillan had the better of him on the start and the turn. Superb underwater work. Tom Dean, of course, notorious for finishing his races very, very strong. But he's breathing away from Jack McMillan, so he will be breathing away from him on the final 50 as well, which sometimes can have an impact.
Well, Tom Dean's a little bit behind here. He'll be fine, I'm sure, because he's very, very strong on the second 100 metres, but I would imagine he might have wanted to be a little bit closer than that. 51.7 is comfortable around the first 100 or so, but now he's really got to get going. And McMillan, well, he's leading him out. He's very brave here because they're going to come charging back on the second 100.
And it must be a terrifying thought to know that Tom Dean is just like bearing down on you in the closing stages of a 200 freestyle. But excellent swim from Jack McMillan. He's done what he needs to do and take the race on, and now he's just got to get some grit, determination in those closing stages as Tom Dean tries to reel him in now.
Well, Dean's from an interesting race here. Comfortable to the 100, maybe practicing that second half. It's going to have to be a very, very hard second half in the final tonight, and he's working hard down the second 100. I think he may end up touching first. And the red hat of Tom Dean, oh, that's better. Oh, thank goodness. 146.7, 146.4 wins it. Well, it didn't look that quick, did it? It looked so comfortable. Olympic champion wins the second last heat of the men's 200 metres freestyle. Tom Dean with Jack McMillan second, and 2 146s. Oh my word, 147.1 was third.
That is so quick. Superb start from Jack McMillan. We can see there how he came up ahead of Tom Dean and powered through the 150. Tom Dean, he looks very, very smooth, doesn't he? Very comfortable there. But there he is. Look, Jack McMillan breathing to his right, seeing Dean coming back at him with every stroke.
Well, I've got to tell you, I was a little bit worried down the first 100 for Mr. Dean. He was quite a way behind, wasn't he? But brilliant, brilliant swim. So the result of heat 7, the second last heat, the Olympic champion does the job, 146.47. Second, Jack McMillan, 146.7, and Bird, I think, is through as well. That's a great swim. 4 under 148. With a final heat of the men's 200 metres freestyle, this is absolutely stacked. World champion from 2023, just 1 year ago. Matt Richards right in the centre in 4. But look at this field. In 4, it's Richards, world champion. In 5, James Guy's been world champion. In 6, Max Litchfield. He won the 400 IM. He's a brilliant 200 freestyler. Whittle's a brilliant 100 and 200 freestyler. He's a Tokyo Olympian. Hutchison's great in 2. Mildred in 1 just won the European under-23s 100 free. Cam Curlin 0, ex-European junior champion. Karen?
It's a pretty good field, right? Okay. And you have to say, James Guy, of the big names, the only one so far not to have booked his ticket to Tokyo. So potentially the most nervous of the field, but also one man who knows how to deliver under pressure and has done so many, many times for Great Britain, particularly on relays. And it would be great to see him certainly get through to this final and get a place on the team.
Well, they've got to go 147, I think, to make this final. A domestic final, 147. This may be the greatest domestic final in the world. Can't believe 8 guys faster than this anywhere in the world. It's the final heat of the men's 200 metres freestyle at the 2024 Aquatics GB Swimming Championships. And right in the centre, Matt Richards, world champion from last year from Fukuoka in this 200 metres freestyle. Swam a really good 100 free to win that earlier this week. And second in the 50, he had great speed to go under 22 seconds to come second in that.
Yeah, real talent from the 50 up to the 200s. No mean feat being able to deliver on all 3 of those distances. But it is James Guy who is trying to take this race out. He doesn't want to make any mistakes. He needs to be in the top 8 to give himself a shot of getting to Paris.
Well, this is interesting. James Guy's going for it early. He's very good at this. He is the guy that just always delivers. He is the postman, isn't he? Just every single time. People write him off, and they've done so for many, many years. And every single time he just comes back and he does exactly what James Guy does. First over at the 100, 51.5, 51.8 from Matt Richards in second. Third, right at the top there, Cam Curl's gone off very quickly. This is interesting. Now what happens? Guy's gone out quick. Does he have enough? I think he will do. 147 he's got to go to qualify, I think.
Yeah, it's not just about where he finishes in this heat, it's about the clock. Him and Matt Richards currently breathing towards each other. They're face to face as they come down to the pool. Final turn. James Guy still just leading, a few tenths ahead of Matt Richards. Lovely turn there from Matt Richards, still able to make the most of that underwater work on his final turn.
Well, in Tokyo, it was 2 gold medals to James Guy. He's in lane number 5. It was 1 gold medal only to Matt Richards. Unbelievable swimmer. He is in 4. He's world champion, the black hat. Ex-world champion James Guy, the white hat. And this is very good indeed. James Guy looks fabulous. The time, 146.6 wins it. 146.90 was second. Those 2 guys have swum really well. That's Matt Richards, the world champion from last year. Goodness me, the times to make this final only. It's just phenomenal. Well, job done, but it was a really, really scary set of heats there. And I'm just in awe of these guys. Can you imagine having to go 147 to make the final?
I'm exhausted just watching. It's tense for these guys, and to be able to deliver, for James Guy to step up and do that in these heats this morning just shows the calibre of the man and why he is so valuable to any Great Britain relay team.
And James Guy looks really good as well. He looks very smooth, he looks very comfortable. I don't think he was all out there at all, the white hats, closer to us. That's impressive. So the world champion from last year wins the final heat 8 of this men's 200 freestyle. Matt Richards, 146.6, with James Guy just behind him, 146.90. Litchfield third, 148. Is he going to make it? It's going to be tight. So the qualifiers for this final, you've got to go 1:47.7 to make it. Joe's made it. His brother's just missed out, Max. Dean's in fastest, Olympic champion, world champion second. Look at that. Guy's been a world champion. Duncan Scott, Olympic silver medalist, 6th. They're all in there. They look comfortable. What a final that's going to be tonight. Wow. Wow, 1:47. Gosh. Oh, it's great. Well, I really believe that's got to be the greatest domestic set of heats for any event in the world at the moment.
And the time to qualify for that final, just incredible, absolutely incredible. And that is the final I cannot wait to see.
Well, it was really pretty special, wasn't it? I hope and think that that John Mason will be able to catch the superstars there. Certainly Matt Richards hopefully will stop and have a quick chat with him. We'll just go through and see all the competitors and what times they've done. Robot and Keating there, 1:53.4. He's had a good meet. There's some really good juniors in here as well. Really good juniors. Andrew Bertoli's had a great meet from Stirling. Repton swimmers, Bill Bow, I think he'll be going to the European Juniors. I'm not a selector, of course, but he's had a great meet as well. 77 swimmers. What a set of heats that was, and a fantastic final heat, and it was won by Matt Richards. He's now talking to John.
Well, that is going to be an incredible way to finish tonight's program. Matt, 1:47 just to make it into that final is wild.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, we've seen it across all the freestyles this week. The depth we've got nowadays is unbelievable. It's in a better place than we've ever had it before in Britain. So, yeah, it's really exciting, both for the relay and also just for that race tonight. It's going to be a hell of a ding-dong.
Certainly one amazing one for us to watch. You know, and you talk about the relay there, that men's 4x2. Britain has been like dominating that. It's something that we sort of stand at the top of the world in. And you can see that here across the field. 1 to 8 is just the best in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've just got such great pedigree in the event. You know, not only as a relay, but also individually, we've got, you know, so many great individual stories that have come through that event over the last 10 years or so. And, you know, that knowledge and experience has been passed down from, you know, Jimmy all the way down to me and to the next guys coming through. So, yeah, we've got a really exciting event. It's not going to be all our way in the summer on that 4x2, but, yeah, I think we'd be lying if we said we weren't feeling good.
Well, look, good luck. It's going to be an amazing show, an amazing way to finish the night.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, looking great, aren't they? What a final that's going to be tonight. Make sure you come join us for that. That's going to be a ripper. Absolutely brilliant. Well, straight over to you, Paul, the final race of this morning.
Absolutely one not to be missed, that 200 freestyle. The whole championship will conclude with that 200 freestyle Paris final. And the one before that will be the multi-class 200 freestyle. To get into that one, you have to go through these qualification heats. And here we go for first of the 2 heats this morning. 200 freestyle, an event for classifications S1 to S5 and also for the S14 class. So with Harvey Phillips and Lyndon Longhorn renewing their S4 rivalry. They go in 2 and 3, and we have 3 from the S14 class. Mark Tromsett, we saw him achieve a nomination time in the backstroke earlier on this week. He goes in 4, off to a fast start here. Jack Milne goes in 5 from University of Aberdeen Performance, and Owen Garside, Kingston upon Hull, he goes in lane number 6. So Mark Tromsett off to a decent start here. Not many male swimmers have achieved those qualification standards. And Mark Tromsett, one of the 5 that have done that one. So he's looking good for a place on that Paris team. And as we said, there's the rivalry of Lyndon Longhorn and Harvey Phillips. They swim in the S4 class. Both have their impairments in all 4 limbs. The intellectual impaired swimmers out in front though. Tromsett over in 1 minute mark. Very tough nomination time for the S14s. 1:56.13 is that nomination time. And it's a British swimmer that holds the world record, 1:52.40, Rhys Dunn. But Tromsett, Bolton Metro swimmer coached by Richard Howard, who's British record holder in the S8 class. He was a good butterfly swimmer, only used one arm. In the S8 class, Richard Howard, I've seen him on poolside this week, so he can be pleased with his performance of the swimmer. And he's ahead of Garside. He's gone out pretty fast. Quite often you see that in the S14 classifications. Part of the complex S14 classification problem with pacing. So you often see the S14s go out really, really fast and pay for that later on in the race. And I think Mark Tomset's maybe paying for that early pace. He's almost caught now by Owen Garsides, but I think he's going to have enough to hold on. A little bit of a spurt at the end for Mark Tomset, and he will come home in 2:07.68, and that'll be a lifetime best for him, so he'll be pleased with that swim. And there's the battle of the S4s. As I said a little bit earlier this morning, not many of the swimmers have made the nomination standards for the men, so maybe a chance to impress the selectors here for Lyndon Longhorn and Harvey Phillips. Lyndon, the British record holder, at 3:22, and that might be out of his reach for these events, but relay spots up for grabs as well. The 20-point relay, which is a 4x50 relay. Lyndon Longhorn and maybe the youngster Harvey Phillips, who's been improving all the time. You can see very similar impairments. Lyndon Longhorn, maybe with slightly longer limbs at the front, but in the classifications, of course, it's a group of impairments. So if you're within a certain range of those 10 physical impairments, you're not going to have everybody. If you're an arm amputee, you're not going to have everybody with an arm amputee with a stump of the same length. It's going to be a range. You're in a particular classification. And Lyndon Longhorn and Harvey Phillips, although they're slightly different impairments, fall within that range of the S4 classification. Lyndon in 3:24. It's a decent swim for Lyndon, you know. British record 3:22, so he'll be pleased with that. And Harvey 3:35, so just outside his lifetime best of 3:33. And some swimmers not been able to progress to the final because they're not internationally classified. We might see these two back again tonight. 5:21 for Lyndon and 4:45 for Harvey Phillips, but Mark Tomset leads the way, 6:82. That should be enough for him to make it into that final, I would think, with one more heat to come. And there's the swimmers for this final heat. All S14s with the exception of Ollie Carter, the S10 swimmer. I think they're all there. No, maybe lane 4 missing, possibly. There's Ollie Carter, the only S10 in this one, so he's a swimmer with a physical impairment. All the others are those with an intellectual impairment. We don't have Joseph Cruz in lane 4, but we have the others. Not a Paralympic event for Ollie Carter, but is a Paralympic event for the S14s. And William Ellard, well, great swim he had a few days ago in the 100 freestyle when he set a new world record. He's just turned 18 a few days ago. Great prospect here for the GB team. Made his debut at the World Championships last year. He was an integral part of the 4x100 freestyle relay when they took the gold medal in the Manchester World Championships last year. So look out for William Ellard when they get to Paris. I don't think there's any way that he won't be selected. Number of nomination times under his belt. We'll just keep a bit of an eye on this one. He's a personal best of 1:54.79. It's a very swift world record held by Rhys Dunn of 1:52.40. And he's maybe like about a couple seconds shy of that world record mark as he goes over the halfway. Dylan Broom going well, the Torfine Dolphins swimmer. The nomination standard 1:56.13. That'll be the initial target for these S14 guys here. Ellard looking good, looking comfortable, doesn't he? Such a good freestyle stroke, Will Ellard. Dylan Broom clear in second. Came in third, Louis Lawler and Cameron Verncombe, who had a fantastic individual medley in the heats a couple of days ago, looked absolutely spent when he got to the wall. We were talking about the poker face. Cameron Verncombe certainly did not have a poker face at the end of that. He was absolutely exhausted, could hardly get himself out of the water, but he achieved the nomination time. And I wonder if Will Ellard is going to do the same. It's just going to slip by, but he will certainly have more to give in the final. Look at that, 1:59.70, and it looked easy. Dylan Broom in second, 2:02.15, and Louis Lawler just gets the better of Cameron Verncombe there, with Ollie Carter coming through in 2:05.24. Lifetime best for Ollie Carter, so he can be pleased with his outing. And that'll be the end of his programme, I think, for the week, Ollie Carter. But there's Will Ellard, looking very good. There's Ollie Carter, great swim in the butterfly the other day. He can be pleased with what he's done this week. And Will Ellard, well, world record in the 100 freestyle. Looked easy in the 200. Can we see something special tonight? Dylan Broom looked good. Carter, third place in terms of points, but not going to progress to the final. It's not a Paralympic event for the S10s. Which means, as we look at the summary, there we have it. There's the qualifiers on that first sheet, all S14s. Will Ellard, 827 points, clear of anyone else. I wonder if Linden and Harvey are going to sneak into that final. If we go to the second page, we'll see the remaining qualifiers. Oh, they just missed out. So it's going to be a complete field of S14s in that final. And Will Ellard's now with John.
Well, I'm down here with Will Ellard. Will, qualifying fastest into tonight's final in that event. I know you just said to me you took it a bit easy to save some for this evening.
Yeah, I want to get try and get as close to the world record as possible later tonight. 152.4, so my PB is 154.7, I think. So hopefully I can get close to that, but I want to save as much energy there for the final tonight.
And push it out, put on a show for us, which we love. You know, you broke that world record the other day as well. You've had some amazing performances, so you're obviously on top form.
Yeah, it's been a hard couple of days. I've raced every day since day 2. So it's all in the mind now instead of physically. So hopefully I can do well tonight.
Well, look, good luck. I can't wait to see what you do. Thanks very much, mate. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the end of our final heat session for the Speedo Aquatic GB 2024 Swimming Championships. Tonight's final is going to kick off at 6:45 p.m. Me in the studio with the guests. Make sure you tune in, BBC iPlayer and Channel 4. We would love to have you guys watching along. It's going to be an amazing night of racing and a great way to finish it. From me, myself, Paul Noble, and Andy Jameson. See you later.